Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up to all the Reds out there and rivals and neutrals as well. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you for joining me. I am going to be going in pretty strong today on a lot of different things. It's like New Year's, same old same old shit. But you deal with it. Top of the league to you all. Like as you say, top of the morning to you, top of the league to you. Because that's what it is for us Reds right now. End of the year, top of the league. Starting the year, top of the league. That is something that we can definitely all appreciate and enjoy, and just enjoy it. Enjoy the run. What's wrong with being positive? What's wrong with enjoying life in general? Because it's just one of those things when you see your team playing well and you see your team really getting the accolades and being active in all four competitions and everything else, blah blah blah. Hey, what have you got to be mad about? So big up to you all. Big up to John Conway in the house. Redbird D9, I see you, brother. I love Liverpool. Big up to you, brother. Let's see. Oh, and Marion. Oh, one of our Reds queens is in the house. Big up to Marion Southwards. She is in the house for sure. Always a blessing to see our Red queens when they join us and be a part of the dialogue. That's all I'm asking everyone to do and be. Because I ended up dealing with a lot of different things towards the end of the year. Very interesting for sure to see some of the players that I know a bunch of us in the chat right now have pretty much supported from day ones. Like you're definitely I see some Darwin supporters in the chat, day oneers, which is really, really I think really, really big and cool to see. Big up to Glasgow Red John, big up to you, brother. I hope that you're well and I hope that your family's well too. Happy New Year to you. But yeah, there's those day oneers. I know Marion's a day oneer with Darwin, for instance. I know there's those of us that have been day oneers when it gets to like Endo, for instance. Day oneers when it comes to Virgil van Dijk and the pursuit of regaining that crown as the best defender in the world. I know there's some day oneers out there that were all about the sense of believing in Klopp and being able to reestablish this team and reshape it and create something that we can be proud of. I know there's a lot of day oneers out there, and there's a lot of what I'm calling now since I've heard this term. Since I've heard the term top red, which is disparaging. I know it's a disparaging word to be utilized for people out there. And it's stupid because some people utilize that word and they don't understand it completely because it's silly. It's just absolutely silly. And supporting your team's a top red, then that's a silly statement. Every team has problems. Every team goes through different things, whether it's the administration, the team, the coach, even sometimes the fans. We all sometimes, waver on our ability to produce and be successful at everything that we put our mind and effort into. But we all should have criticism. We should all be able to take on constructive criticism. That's something I look to do, and something I believe is important. I believe it's very important for all of us to understand that concept. But there are those out there that I'm going to start calling them bottom Reds, basically, because basically there are some of those out there that complain about this coach, complain about this team, despite being on top of the league. They complain about these players despite having good, successful runs, rounding into form, becoming these players that we hope that we would see them become. And yet they still hate on these players. They still drop shade. They act as if the internet doesn't remember. As in the internet's memory is very long and that it will never forget. And it's just so funny. Absolutely, brother. The Glasgow Red TV is spot on. Some people are just never happy. I don't even know if I want to pause behind that one. I love Liverpool. Bottom Reds. That's what some of these cats are. Bottom Reds. Because you know what? Realistically, I support all Reds. And if that's being a top Red, then fine. Because if anything, you know what? I love the fact that we have a brotherhood and a sisterhood. You know, we have this brethren that we have here, and I'm proud to see when I see someone rocking a Liverpool jersey or a Liverpool hat, you know, or whatever it is. You know, I like the fact that we have some camaraderie between us. I like the fact that I feel like, hey, that's family right there, or that's some type of there's a connection there, that we share this team, we share the you know, patronage of this team, and that's something that matters to me. It might not matter to others. I understand that some people are just miserable in general, and they want to spread their misery. But realistically, man, I am really loving the fact of seeing how many flip-floppers there are for these bottom Reds. Because I don't know how many times I've seen how many people are out there going like, Endo is this and Endo's that. And I'm like, there's some of us in this chat that have been saying that from the very beginning. Just give him time. How about this? He's a Red. There's no taking it away. He's got the kit. He's already signed the papers. Let's just support him and hope that he can round into form. Be constructive. Have constructive criticism. Say things that you think he can improve on, or that player can better. I have no problem with those things. But don't push your stupid agendas. You know, like, yeah, exactly, Dustin. Exactly. Simicast was shit, mate. He was shit. Exactly. That's what a lot of people were just saying that before he got the game 2 was starting. It's agendas that are just so powerful and painful, if anything, to take on, to listen to sometimes from some of my fellow content creators. I will put that out there, you know, and it's sometimes it's sad because, you know, to just shun off someone and then call them a top Red, or say shun off someone simply because they support their team, or they have a more, you know, rosy approach towards, you know, their own players. It's sad, man. It's sad. It's really, really sad. And the fact that a lot of these same people are going to sit there and pretend as if we didn't hear you say the things that you said. Case in point. Big up to True Jordy. Look, I watched the kickoff. I don't know if any of you guys do or not, but and you guys watch the kickoff and such, but I would ask True Jordy who hurt him, like who hurt you. But it's so obvious that it was Klopp, and I'm sorry that Klopp hurt you. I from the bottom of my heart, I am honestly sorry that Klopp has hurt you, because I've taken on friendships with some really good Geordies. I think I've taken on friendships with some really good people that represent Newcastle United, but the take that True Jordy went off on is just significant. It's just like, it's not only significant, excuse me, but it's just like, it somewhat symbolizes a lot of what we as Reds have to take on in these forums. It takes on a lot of what we have to take on in these forums, whether it's, I mean, the rivals and everything else, that's one thing. But I mean, like, sometimes from our own brethren, it definitely hits a little bit harder. It definitely hits a little bit, you know, more to the heart when it's your own brethren. But the take that he went off on Klopp about and everything else and blah, 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 like, don't get mad. Don't get mad at Klopp, man. I mean, like, you know what's funny about this? And this is something that's really, really funny, guys. I was listening to True Jordy's take, and I was saying to myself, wow, this guy really, really does not like Klopp. Like, he's going off on him. And then I looked at the lineup, and I was looking at Newcastle's lineup. And albeit, like, I'm going past their starting lineup. That is what it is. They've got their injuries. I understand that and all that well. But when I saw that they had Karius on their bench as their backup keeper, that said it alone. You need to look at your own team, your own club, and worry about your own before you start hating on Klopp. That was just my take from when I heard him go off on him. Big up to Cedric Lopez in the house. Big up, brother. Big up to Red for Life. I don't think I gave you a shout out, and to Dustin as well. Big up to all of you. But that just alone that says volumes. for Newcastle, for instance, though. And Newcastle, again, is a team that I have. I know you don't respect Karius. Yeah, exactly. I don't know about that. You know, that alone should tell you how much top red people are when they were saying that to respect Karius. Nah, fun that guy. That was a horrible performance. That Champions League, man. All the stuff that I heard about him having a possible like concussion and all this other crap. Dog, tap out. We can and go to the sideline. You know, that was just done. But yeah. But let me see what let me hear what you guys are saying here. Okay. Redbird D9 says, I heard Klopp forgot to send Drew Bummer Shorty a Christmas card. Maybe that's why he was so upset. Maybe it was. I do have a take on why he might feel this way too. But other than just the Karius effect, I love Liverpool says, yo, bro, I'm done with all the noise now. I'm tuning it out. Only going on genuine fan channels. No more mindless outrage content. That's I commend you on that, brother, because like often people will wonder why they're so mad or so upset about sometimes even about their own team, even though their own team might be doing well. And you sit there and you go, why are you so mad? Why are you so angry? Who hurt you? And you're looking at it, and it's like, yeah, it's yourself. You're allowing for these negative influences to like, you know, make you start saying, oh, yeah, you know what? Endo's never going to be able to play in this league. Yeah. How'd that work out for you? How'd that work out for you? And how many people, when I did my endo, piece, when I did my endo segment, I remember how many people really started to criticize not only my takes, but like criticize the fact that I even thought that Endo should be even playing for this club. Considering I've seen him play for Japan, considering I know what he's done for, albeit a Stuttgart team that was battling relegation. And it's just more so I just understand and conceptualize the history of this club, the history of this era of this club, at least. And one thing I can say is that more times than not, this club gets it right when it gets to bringing in players that fit our culture, fit our system, fit what it is to be a Liverpool player under this administration, under this coach, Klopp. That's what I appreciate. I appreciate that we're not in a place where we're like 115 charges on our backs. You know, we're not like I appreciate the fact that we're not some you know, silver spoon, you know, club that spends $1 billion and the first thing out their mouth is, oh, hey, we need to spend more. I appreciate the fact. I appreciate those facts. I appreciate the fact that we're not like a Arteta out, Arteta in. I know I might be chopping up a little bit on this rant. Maybe I'm sending the internet waves and a little bit too much of anger or you know, of just pure chaos. Bring my own Darwin. But big up to M. Tarmizi. M. Tarmizi and I we're chatting a little bit. I'm looking forward to AFCON, despite the Asian Cup. I'm looking forward to this Asian Cup. Really talking. We've been chopping it up a lot about how there's some players out there, man. I really like the fact that we went and got Endo, and possibly that is just another, you know, stepping stone into getting a better representation into the Asian market when it comes to the players that are out there, that are some talented players that just don't get the recognition and don't get the praise that they should, simply because, you know, just simply because there's not really that much like real you know, what's the words I'm looking for? There should be more given, or more appreciation shown towards a lot of these countries, or a lot of these players that are playing for their national teams back in Asia. I mean, like it's something that testament of excuse me, of what this team represents, or what these players represent, excuse me, especially since the culture and everything else, the pride that they show in representing their countries, but also just the fact that they really do play well. They really do play well when given the opportunities. And whether it's Son, as it was just spoken of, or some of the other players that, some of these other players that are playing for Japan, playing for South Korea, playing for North Korea, playing for different clubs out there that are really, really representing and really, really need to be recognized. I like the fact that Mtar Mizi is our scout for the Asian market out there that really gives us some valuable insight. So big up to Mtar Mizi. And I hope that you're doing well with your fitness and nutrition campaign for yourself as well. Big up. So yeah, let me also see some. So yeah, big up to everyone. Happy New Year and big up to everyone. That's what Mtar Mizi says. Let me see what else. Yeah, Marion Southward says, Man City, when are they going to get charged over their outstanding crap? Oh no, wait, they're really rich and not like Everton with no money. So that is spot on. So spot on, Marion. So spot on. But it is what it is when it comes to, hey, cash moves everything around me, right? That's how it is. So I agree with you on this one too. I think Son is one of the most underrated players of the last 10 years. That's a bold statement. 10 years is a long time. In the past decade. That's very interesting. I think that Son is definitely unappreciated, considering that like Kane overshadowed him when he was with the Spurs. And I also agree that a lot of what Son is enjoying now that he's the captain, now that he's being able to, get the opportunity to play the striker position for Spurs. He's starting to see a little bit more recognition and a little bit more praise come his way. But I definitely wanted to make sure that I got that rant in. I told Quasi I was like, Quasi might be able to join us. He might not. Hopefully he does. But if he doesn't, big up to Quasi. He's going to be having a show later on. So be sure to check out Quasi Bold TV. But I told him, me and him were chatting. We're talking about how he's like, oh yeah, he'll try to like, get together with me on the stream and, say his piece. And I said, hey man, like the first, like, at least the first 20 minutes of this show is going to be me definitely basically standing up to this B. I think it's BS. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's silly. I think it's stupid when you hear these where people like say these words or call people these names that is not warranted of them at all. It belittles their point. It takes away from from the dialogue and everything else. But I mean, like, now that we're in this arena. Now I guess we got to do it. We got to 2-man enter, 1-man leave type thing. So hey, big up to those that are still standing and standing with me and walking along, taking this walk with me. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I really, really do. So I wanted to get into this game, guys. So great game. I thought it was a fun game to watch, despite the fact it was a little bit. I understand that it was definitely frustrating, or it was definitely at points people were saying how they didn't they weren't enjoying what they were seeing on by us having I guess remnants or reminders of the Manchester United, and we were having a lot of opportunities, a lot of shots and everything else, but weren't necessarily scoring. I know there was those out there that were really, really critical of Nunez. There were people out there that were extremely critical of Salah's play at times. I'm trying to think who else I heard a lot of people bemoaning. And I thought there was a lot of good performances on the pitch. I thought there was a lot of good performances. It was a good stress, yeah, exactly. As I love Liverpool says, he says good, stressful fun for sure. You know, it was a good stress test. You know, that's what I took it as. It was a good stress test because there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people in the forums that I was seeing because I definitely, again, I support channels that I don't agree with their opinions. The content creators don't. Some of those content creators, same content creators that are quick to say top red this or or this or that, or I'm gonna deduct 2 points, or your ratings or this or that because you're this or that. Those same people, I watch their shows. I do. I support them. And it's one of those things. I don't necessarily know if they do the same for me, but all the same, I kind of don't even really care because I appreciate the more genuine people that do. And that's the Reds I see in the chat. Those are the neutrals I see in the chat because I keep it 100, the neutrals and to the rivals. And, I really enjoyed this game because it shows that we have some really amazing, amazing players on this team that are capable of brilliant, brilliant performances. I know that a lot of us were, for instance, and I'm just going to take this as a for instance, there was the situation with Joe Gomez last year where Joe lost his confidence. It was very difficult for Joe to find any real safety or coverage or a safe place for him to find last year, considering his performances, especially at center back. Big up to Lucky. I see you, brother. There were very few places that you could find places for Joey to understand. He would have some solace, I guess. That's the best word for it. Honestly, I'm starting your comments too. I'm just trying to get this rant out before we really get into it. But Joey last year went through, some really down parts or some like really, down moments last year. And there were those out there that were very much, get him out of here. He's done. He'll never play for this team again. I'm finished with him, this and that. And again, the internet never lies. The internet has a long memory. And I myself was saying I still value Gomez. I value Gomez with what I've seen him doing last year in helping us when we needed right back coverage. And I was wanting to say, hey, you know what? Let's just put him as that right back coverage. Let's just utilize him as a right back so that we can interexchange him with Trent or utilize Trent in that midfield, if that's what we're going to do, and utilize Gomez as a right back. But Gomez has become such a valued player for us, I believe, by showing not only his commitment and hard work and the fact that commitment and hard work always and normally will provide success or at least results. We've seen Gomez play well at right back. We've seen him get over the hurdle and through that mental block of playing well at right center back, playing well at left center back, playing well at left back. And this is when we need him the most. He's stepping up and playing well. And that's something that you have to give to Gomez. I really think that the longest tenured player on our team as a Red, okay, the longest tenured player on this team as a Red, Joey has really, really battled through I'm sure, some very, very dark places for him in his career, whether it was battling back through injuries, battling back through, again, the mental hurdles or the mental confidence hurdles that you have to go through and getting the confidence to be the player, the Liverpool level player that we need you to be. I say big up to him, and I commend him on the fight, and I commend those of us that were walking alongside Gomez during that struggle and during this fight, because he's really stepped it up, and I you have to give it to him. We're between a rock and a hard place by not having Robbo, by not having Simicast as our left back choices in this campaign, and the fact that Gomez is stepping up. big up to him, and big up to the commitment, and big up to the confidence and belief that Klopp has showed towards Joey, because there's a lot of people that would have just let him go, would have just said, whatever. And I gotta say, big up to those that did that. Let me include some of your big up to Brian Morrissey in the house. Big up, Brian. Happy New Year to you, brother. Definitely Happy New Year. Let's see. Let me see. What so there were some good comments in here. Definitely Red for Life had a good comment in here. Let's start with this. Start with honesty. He says they don't listen to Klopp and Linders. We don't have a main goal scorer. We score as a collective since the day of Bobby and Mane, and that's a very good point. A very good point. Even it's really funny because when Bobby was getting his criticism of not being a goal scoring striker or a goal scoring 9, and he has had years when he scored decent numbers. He had decent double figure numbers for his striker campaign. But a lot of people don't understand the fact that I like the fact that the goals are a little bit more spread out, in that you're going to have an opposition team is going to have to look and see our team as being a team that they can't just focus in on one player. They can't just say, our whole focus, stop Salah, that's it. Or when we have Mane, stop Mane and Salah, that's it. You can't do that with this team. There's so many different elements that you can find, and elements where you see the confidence of the player that will provide these answers, provide these goals for us. Whether it's Curtis Jones, whether it's Dominic, whether it's Luis, whether it's Nunez, whether it's Salah, whether it's Trent, whether it's Van Dijk, all these players, excuse me, all these players are taking cracks at getting goals, and taking cracks at really contributing for our club. I mean, Cody, Diego, obviously, our shot caller, right? Whether it's McAllister, whether it's even now, and I'm hoping Gravenberch gets that moment. This is what I really, really would like to see, is Ryan get that moment that we've seen a lot of our other players get, whether it's Diego, whether it's Cody, whether it was McAllister, whether it's been Trent, whether it's been Endo. All these players have had that really breakout moment where they've had that shine of the spotlight on them to get their flowers. I'm hoping Ryan gets that moment as well, and I'm believing and hoping that he will. But realistically, a lot of different options on this team. I like that immensely. Red for Life says, I don't think anyone performed under par last night. Each player contributed in their own way. The two goals we conceded were lapses in concentration that we need to work on. Attack was relentless. Yes, it was. It absolutely was. Redbird D9 also says, the haters make me sick when they start praising a player they hated on. That's so low. I'm sorry. I'm going to take a swing of Trader Joe's. Wait, hold on 1 second. Oh, man. Yes. I had to wet the whistle there. Absolutely agree with that. The haters make me sick when they start praising a player they hate on, as if they've always supported said player. I'm sure y'all know some of the hater names. Thankfully, none of are in this chat. Is so spot on, brother. I'm going to start this. I might even screenshot that kind of comment, brother, because that is so spot on. Internet's memory is long. They act as if you guys are goldfish. They act as if you don't remember that they were so critical and such big haters. And then they go, oh, I hold my hands up. I was wrong. So let's now move on. Let's forget the endless chapters of hate that we just dropped on these players. And now that they see what we saw, they're on something but we're all the same. Come on, guys. Come on. It's just sad. That part's sad. So big up to those that recognize, because I believe in you. You guys are smart. You guys aren't you guys are no dummies. We're not. These are not the droids you're looking for. It's not going to work on us. So big up. Let's see what other comments are out there. I love Liverpool says, exactly. People don't listen and they make up fantasies. Like, show me when Klopp ever said, we signed Darwin to be an out and out number 9 and score goals, nothing else. I'll wait. Red for Life also says, everyone has their own mind and has their own opinion. We're all individuals, but I feel like in order to stay sane, you have to try to see things from the manager's perspective, which is really, really important. Really, really important. All right, let me see what you guys say, Manchester. I saw the comment. I wanted to consider banter club. I guess that's a shame. That's but big up Manchester United fan. I appreciate the fact that you're recognizing that your club is a banter club and that you're in a horrible place right now. Big up. I mean, like, I appreciate the rivals tuning in. It's I mean, like, and anything, you know what? When I see the hate and I see the silliness, if you're not doing something right, they're not going to hate on you. And obviously, we're doing a top of the league to you, my brothers and sisters, because we're doing plenty right at the moment, apparently, as being top of the league in all 4 competitions and being top of the league. I will take that for sure. Big up Red Bird 99. He says 12th man and ban Manchester United in the chat. This coming fan is spamming our chats. I got you. I will do that. All right, I got you, brother. I got you. Yes. So yes, I took that down. But yes, and Redbird. Redbird, Red for Life. You guys have that ability yourselves. I made you guys. What do you call it? Mods. I made, or at least I tried to make like Realism Jared, Brian's a mod. I Love Liverpool's a mod. I made Red for Life a mod. I said Marion, hopefully. Those of you guys that routinely support and show love are part of are genuinely here to have some real dialogue, to be respectful of each other and everything else. I made you guys all mods, so you guys have the ability to put people in timeouts and ban people or whatever, I think, right? So if you guys see that, please do take care of that. Take care of that to like Realism Jared, Red for Life, I Love Liverpool, Marion, Brian, like, yeah, what the heck? I see. Now he is doing it. I see what you're saying. But hey, I can say like this. I don't mind necessarily seeing Manchester United fan, excuse me, 144, excuse me, or Manchester United fan, blah, 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 whoever it is out there, our rivals, hopping into our DMs. I know. I like it. I like it. Hey, you know what it means? It means they have something to hate. It's just that simple. They have something to hate, and that is that their team is in the mud, and our team is flying high like Liverbird should. So that is what it is. I don't even think he's trolling. I think he's talking about his own club. Maybe when I said bottom red, he just automatically assumed I was talking about Red Devils. Maybe that's what he thought was the case. But it's all good, brothers and sisters. Definitely all good. Oh man, some fun stuff. I was taking notes. I watched this game actually 3 times. I watched it twice last night and watched it this morning as well, because it was I really did enjoy that match. The first, it was definitely a tale of 2 halves. All things perspectively, because I mean, obviously we scored all of our goals in the second half, but we had some opportunities in the first half too. We had a 2.49 xG in the first half, and then a 4.62 xG in the second half. I know. Honestly, I'm not going to post that stat or what you said, but that is so true. And what I saw from yesterday's performance was a team that is going to put in a concerted effort to get some results and aren't going to really allow for themselves to get weathered and beat down. Wow. Wow. We are definitely in this guy's head. Please, you guys, if the guys, everyone that was saying, like, as in, I think pretty much everyone in here is a mod. Nilante, big up, brother. Big up, brother. Nilante, you're a mod too. So if you see those comments, please, like I said, those of us that are part of this mighty Red Army, that's what it is, man. We definitely protect each other. We got each other's six for sure. So big up, big up. Yeah. I agree too. I agree too. It's up to you guys as the mods as the mods for this channel. It's up to you guys. If you see that crap or it's out of line, flag it. Do what you feel is necessary. I trust you guys. But I mean, like, Manchester United fan, I like it because you know what it means, though. Again, it means that they are so in the mud. They are so in the mud that it's like it's quicksand. It's not even mud, it's quicksand. That's even better. It's quicksand because Old Trafford is such a wretched place of a stadium nowadays that they are just slowly but surely figuring out that they have no real immediate future. Last year, this is so funny. This is, in my assessment of last year, being the year that we ended up getting 5th place, was a year where I believe the participants that got 3rd and 4th place overreached. And Marion, you should be a sub. I tried. If not, I'm a sub. Pause on that one. You should be a mod. I'm gonna. If not, then if it didn't go through, I will definitely make sure. But you should be a mod because I put Marion and I put Jean Grey, 2 of our Reds queens here. I put both you guys as mods, just so you know. So, and if not, then I'll make sure it is. So yeah, like I get back to what I was saying. I think that realistically, you're seeing kind of like the backlash for overachieving last year. I think unfortunately for Newcastle, again, I have some Newcastle friends that I've befriended this year that I don't have any problems with, and this is the reason why I try to hold a more measured approach towards my critiques of Newcastle or our exchanges. But I personally think that last year, Newcastle and Manchester United played well over their positions. I think they overachieved for what they ended up getting, So what it was for me was that I believe Newcastle, a lot of the games they drew last year, they're losing this year. Whether it's because of injuries or whatever, but I personally think it's because of squad depth. I don't think the squad depth is what everyone isn't really what it is. I just said it in the beginning of this stream. Newcastle has Karius as their backup goalkeeper. That alone says where they are when it comes to personnel. Manchester United, I believe, despite getting the Caribou, despite ending up getting 3rd place, I think completely reached for more fortunate and reached. This is funny. I think it's funny. What up, Manchester United fan 15? I like it. Hello again. Yeah. what's that song? Hello, darkness, my old friend. That that's what Manchester United is singing right now. um, but yeah, I think that they overreached. They got in their heads that, oh, we got third, we're top four, we got a third place finish. Very much the same when Ali got the finish that they got, the top four finish that they got before. It is really, really, really telling that they got that they settled for it, and that was it. And this is what I've said. I've said it in different streams on different channels, and I'll say it again here. I think the measure of a team, is when their statement is, we're fighting for top four, or we're fighting for a title. I think that is a measure of difference when it comes to the culture, when it comes to to your aspirations, when it comes to what you believe is the bar, the level for your team. And I understand that there were those that didn't necessarily have high expectations for this club going into this year, especially considering what we went through last year. But I, on the other hand, believed that Klopp could reinvigorate this club. I believe that Klopp could invest in the positions that we need to make differences or make changes in and get results. And I also believe, again, that those teams that are what they're saying they are, they don't have that measure. They haven't been through the wire, you know. They haven't gone to the top of the mountain, fallen down and gotten back up and climbed that mountain again. That's a measure of a quality team. That's a measure of a quality club. And I say this again, it's the measure of an amazing, absolutely an amazing fan base. It's the true measure of those of us that can recognize those things. Because, man, you know, top of the league. Yet these teams, these other clubs, like, again, they just don't understand that hard work and dedication pays off. I get it. You surmise to third or fourth place, or you surmise to that top four position. Great. Some people have it as that's their aspirations. Let's just get top four. Let's just get top four. Let's just get top four. I don't look at it that way. I'm looking at it, let's get a title. Let's contend for a title. If we're contending for a title, you don't have to worry about top four. You're already in that. You're already in that measure. That's entry level stuff. This team fights. This club fights for titles. I don't know if you guys are with me. I know a good number of you are with me. I shouldn't say that. I don't know if you are with me, because I know a lot of you are in the chat. But this club is designed. This club has the history and everything else of fighting for titles. And that's as simple as put. It's as simple as put. I appreciate this. I appreciate this club, but I appreciate this coach especially because he has reinforced that commitment. He has reinforced that even belief, even hope of fighting for titles. Because there was a period in time when again, I see my latency is a little bit choppy. Hopefully you're hearing this. There was a period in time when we were a team that possibly was saying, let's just get top four. And that era, once Klopp took over in this era of this team, I believe that concept has slowly but surely hey, Manchester United fan 15, your Manchester United 14 is back. I like it. I like it a lot. It's one of those things though that uh, I think he has made this club. He has made this club get to a place where we have those expectations. I know I do. I know there's people in the chat that have those expectations as well. I know, for instance, Brian can attest to, during the 90s, the difference between the 80s and the 90s, for instance, in the not I wouldn't necessarily say maybe a little bit of the culture, but more so with the expectations, the mindset, with where we were as a club and what we should and realistically could expect from this club was night and day difference from the 80s to the 90s. Absolutely night and day difference. I'm openly saying I became a supporter of this club during the 90s and know that this club's run through the 90s was not something that you were saying top red here. No. You were saying proud to be a Red, but our club needs to step it up to even hold a light to the long and glorified history that we had. There were that was our dark ages. Yeah, dark time, as Brian was saying. That was our dark ages, the 90s. And even parts of the 2000s was like weren't that great to really, weren't that great or that fun of a ride, I should say. But it was always, I thought that one thing I appreciated from the club and from this ride with this club is the fact of the brethren that I saw and befriended were always supportive. We're always proud to be proud of their city, proud of their club, proud of their managers, proud of the players, critical when necessary to be critical of them, supportive when they were down and needed help, rising up and being able to continue to walk on. Those were things I appreciated. Those were aspects and cultural aspects of this team I really, really, really tuned into and appreciated that they were associated with the club that I support and love. So, but yeah, it was one of those things. And it's one of those things where it makes you appreciate it when I get to share the platform with you guys and be able to chop it up and discuss things that sometimes we might not agree on, points we might not agree on, or things we might not agree on. Let's have these discussions. I'm cool with that. But again, top of the league to you. Red for Life says, I said it on Enz, or he said it on Enz's channel last night. He's a romantic. He loves his club. He loves his squad. With where we are, how we're playing, the squad vibes, he's confident those ribbons are going to be red. I agree, man. I've been saying it's going to be really, 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 really. So the year we went for the quad, actually, they did a fan fest in LA, and it was the game against Manchester United rivalry game that we had, and the fan fest in LA was really a well attended fan fest for NBC. I remember it specifically because I was fortunate enough to not only go there, because I live in Arizona primarily, but I went to the festival, and there was something wrong with my credentials or something like that. Somehow my ticket got messed up, and unfortunately, I ended up being able to represent and get myself into the fan fest. Talk to the right people. And one cool thing about it was at the time, it was during that time when Mo had his run and he was just balling. And there could have actively been a shout for Ballon d'Or for him. There should have been a shout for Ballon d'Or for him. But, it is what it is. There's people that have their agendas, and there's also people that have their agendas for certain reasons. But I was fortunate enough. They took questions from the audience, and I was rocking this kit right here. I'll put down right for life statement so you can see it. I was rocking this kit right here, and the two Robbies saw me and they're pointing me out, and they were like, let's get this Red supporter here. And it's cool. I got some pictures with them afterwards and everything else, but they allow for me to be one of the few questions that represented the Reds, actually represented us as a fan base. And I asked them that question about, do you feel that it's Mo's time for the Ballon d'Or? And they both were cool. They were saying how, like, at first they didn't believe that he was going to be a true candidate, but he is a class player, and then he deserved it. It's a fun take. Again, internet never lies, so you can go and look up the Fan Fest, or look up that on the internet. You'll see my face on there, representing us as best I can. But hey, burn rush the fat. I don't know Brian. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by your statement? I don't know what your statement meant by what you're saying. I like the Fan Fest. The Fan Fest this year, I think they're going to be in Nashville. I don't know. I mean, that's East Coast, so I don't think I'll be traveling all the way to there. It's a little bit of more difficult place to go to for myself. But yeah, it is what it is. I had fun at that Fan Fest. A lot of one of the main reasons why I'm bringing that story up is that they bring the trophy with them, and unfortunately, I got to take a picture next to the trophy, but the trophy was blue ribbons instead of red. And I remember they have a little segment where they take a picture, and they also take a little video of you that they include on their website to kind of like, include in the Fan festivities. And okay. Oh, I know what it means. I know what you mean. Now I know. I get what you're saying. But what was cool about it is my comment on there was, let's turn these blue to red next year. Unfortunately, we didn't. But hey, I'm a year off, so let's do it. Let's do it this year. Let's turn those blue ribbons to red. Let's turn those blue ribbons to red. Big up. Let's see. Redbird is saying Jared Salah is world class, but no player can win a trophy without teammates. So they've all got to show up. That is spot on that. That's a spot on comment. I agree with that. It takes a team, to win this. As in, there are moments and times I've said it myself that I think that Mo gets criticism because Mo is a superstar. He's the one making Pepsi commercials with Messi, for a reason, but he's got to, at moments and times, if you're going to be that superstar, you're going to be that world heralded superstar, you got to recognize that you're going to have moments where you got to put the team on your back and take them to that silverware, bring them the glory of hoisting that silverware. And that's something that I want to see more of from Salah, but I still think he's world class. I still think he's a phenomenal player, and I'm so happy and appreciative that he calls himself a Red, and he is very, very loyal to that as well. Yeah, you have to look at Marion. You might be able to. I'm sure you'll be able to Google it, but you should be able to find it, I believe, on YouTube too. He makes a commercial. Messi and Lionel Messi and Mohamed Salah made a commercial together, made a Pepsi commercial together. And it's one where they drive into a gas station and they see that there's one Pepsi left. So they start doing all these tricks and start doing all these different little things with the football. And it was good. It was a fun commercial. But yeah, it recognizes the fact that Mo Salah is definitely not only world class, he is a world recognized throughout the world as a talent for sure. Pulled off, man. Here we call that jammy, and that never happens to me. I feel you. I got you, Marion. Jammy wins and stuff. Yeah, I feel you on that. With the big tickets, yeah, right. I just dropped the. Don't you know who I am? No, I didn't say that. Don't you know I'm the 12th man? I represent as best I can. I run with the mighty Reds army. You don't know who we are. We get into the club. We get in the club without using lines. No, I'm joking. I'm joking a little bit. Anyway, fun game. Yes. In the elite level players, okay, I can understand that. I can understand that for sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I got you. Here's Brian. Brian saying, he's saying it's when a bunch of people with no tickets show up to a show or concert, and all rush in. Some will get caught, but some will get in free. I feel you. Yeah. Now I know what you mean. Man, it was. I flew into LA just for that fan fest, to be honest with you. So imagine that. It's difficult enough sometimes for me to get down to my boozer club, my boozer supporter club downtown. But I flew in just for that. Flew in, rented the car, got myself to the front, and yeah, man, I was like, I am not missing this, man. I'm going to be front and center because I represent. This is like that game. Yeah, I'm representing for sure on that one, for sure. So yeah, it's fun at the top. Pause button on that one for sure. Oh yes, you have to definitely see that True Geordie, Brian. That True Geordie rant is ugly. It is ugly. I mean, he's saying bitch. He's dropping, he's calling out players on our team. He's calling out Klopp. He's talking about he's this, he's that. Oh, it was ugly. It was like one of those, who hurt you? Oh wait, I get it. But yeah, it's bad. Maybe one day. And I'm saying it like this. I watched True Geordie's shows. I watched the kickoff. Maybe one day I'll be on his show, because I've seen him have Anfield Agenda on there. Maybe one day I'll be able to sit at the table and at least push back, when you hear the blatant disrespect that some of these content creators and some of these people lay on our beloved Reds, for sure. If it's warranted, it's one thing, but when it's not, bun that. I'm not down with that. You're going to get called out. You're going to definitely get called out. Let's have some fun, people. Let's have some fun. Let's get into some ratings. Let's definitely get into some ratings here. And let me bring this to here. All right, let's get into some ratings. Let's get into some ratings. So let's get into some fun times. Because I was thinking about this earlier. I watched this game 3 times. I watched it twice yesterday and once this morning. And the sheer fact that we had a 7.27 XG, like, that's ridiculous. I know 7.27 is what 1 XG had it at. The app that I use had us at 7.11. That's sick. That's ridiculously sick that we had that high of a rating for our XG. That is absolutely sick. 34 shots in total, 15 on 15 total shots on target. 12 shots were blocked. Only 7 were off target. We had 18 shots, 5 on target in the first half, but our second half, total night and day difference. Okay, so let me double check on that for you. So this is for Brian, who's asking if that's non-penalty xG. The xG that I'm referencing with the 7.11 is expected goals, and that's calculated. That calculates how many goals a team should have scored on average based on the number and quality of shots taken. So I don't. It doesn't tell me, and I know what you're asking, because I know sometimes they rate those. Penalty. I think penalty shot is calculated in that term. I think penalty shot is calculated in the xG, despite it not being a penalty or non-penalty. I think that is calculated in there. So, because let me see if it has non-penalty. I don't think I have a number for that exact number of if like calculating with non-penalty versus with penalties factored into it. I'm not certain how that works, or how if they have that in there or not. But from what I'm taking it, I think it is calculating. I think if you have a penalty kick, that definitely boosts your xG for sure. Brian's saying this. He's saying, there's two different types of overall xG, non-penalty and inclusive, right? I believe that this is inclusive. I don't believe that's not not factoring in the fact that we had 2 penalty kicks in the game. That definitely is going to boost that goal rate. I appreciate it, Brian. Yeah, definitely look it up for me and to get an accurate description, because I definitely want us all to be properly educated. That's how I see it. So let's jump into this right here again. Fun game, I thought. How are we rating Allison? Allison, our beloved. You know what's great about this game for me was that despite Allison not having a Allison-esque game, despite him not having an Allison-esque game, excuse me, I still think that it's testament, because there's been times when Allison has held us up. And in a game where he wasn't exactly at his absolute best, making, these world-class, incredible saves that we're so accustomed to seeing from him, we still did work. Thus, the reason why I get the XG, whether I'm not certain again, if it's, I think it is an inclusive, as Brian's putting it. I think it is an inclusive XG calculation. Oh, and I do see the average. I think when he said 7.26, I think he was one of the content creators I saw that referenced 7.26, maybe saying that that's the average. That was the average rating for a lot of the players altogether. But I would say Nilante is saying a solid 7. He was average. Okay, I would say that too. It's not that I don't think that. And then Dustin saying Allison basically did nothing. Oh wow. Keep It Level says in that game yesterday he was a 4. Wow. He had him at a failing grade. Let's see. He wasn't at his best. I agree with you, Dustin. I understand. I'm not, and again, this isn't when I say those things. When I say wow, or whatever, that's just me saying. I'm not saying judgment and like, oh, you're out of your mind, or you're this, you're that. No. I'm saying, if anything, I'm like, that's interesting, because I can understand how you could get to it being a 4 or 5 rating, because he can see Dustin saying he conceded 2 goals. I don't blame him, but 4 and was good. He was decent. He was a lot better at with his passing, this distribution. I give him that. Realism Jared has him at a 6.5. Keep It Level has him as a 4 or 5. So that pushes down at average. Nilante had him at a 7. Keep It Level had him at a 4 or 5. I Love Liverpool have him at a 7. Okay, at least definitely bumps him up. 7. Okay, these are more of some more high ratings are coming in for him. I guess I'm gonna have to give him a. Wow, I feel bad doing it, but I guess we have to give him a 6, considering, because I see some people have given him a 4. Marion gave him a 7. Red for Life gave him a 7. He says, let me I'll put the comment up for you guys. He says, Ali didn't have much to do. He doesn't blame the goals on him, but our defenders need to help keep Ali a clean sheet more often. Yeah. Dustin says, less than 7 is disrespectful. Less than 7 is disrespectful, I'll say. Nothing was his fault. Do you think so? I mean, I'm only saying I was willing to give him a 7. I thought he had a 7, like an average performance. I was just giving him a 6 simply from some of the very low, like Realism Jared and Keep It Level. We're giving him like a 6.5 or a 4 to 5, rating. That's why I was kind of like this, splitting, doing my King Solomon and splitting the baby, by giving him a below average. Maybe he was a little below average because we expect him to be so world class and so above the fray. I should say. Let's see. I Love Liverpool says he had a couple of saves, wasn't to blame for the goal, and wasn't really good on the ball in possession. Okay, I'm gonna keep him at a 6 for now. We can circle back, and if you want to bump him up, we'll go through a quick bump up or bump downs segment afterwards after we get through the entire lineup. For Gomez, how do you guys feel about Gomez? How do you guys feel about Gomez? And this is what Brian has clarified. My earlier 7.11 rating. He's saying, that figure is inclusive of pens. I believe a pen is 0.7 xG. So basically still a 6 from open play, which is pretty exceptional. That's pretty exceptional if that's the case. Nalante gives Gomez a 10, man of the match. Dustin gives him Gomez was class. I agree. Gomez was on some other like settings. I think Gomez is recognizing the fact that he has an opportunity to start, to contribute, and really shine and be a part of this and be an actively contributing part of this team. I love the fact that he's taken on that role. Joey gets a 9 from I Love Liverpool. Red for Life gives him an 8. Nolante says he's defensive and attacking. And Marion gives him a 9. Joey G gets a 9. Did a full 90. He did a full 90. Realism Jared. See, this is what I mean. Like I keep it real. I allow people their opinions. Keep It Level has 8.5 for Gomez. Realism Jared gave him a 7.5. This is going to I want to hear this. He says he left too much space for them to run in behind when we were ahead, but was good going forward. So impressed with him. Yeah, there was one pass that he had to, I want to say was it to Dom or was it to Nunez? Or I think it was to Dom. But he had a great pass, and it just got, luckily for Newcastle, the Newcastle player got a foot on it and deflected it wide for a corner. But otherwise, that was a surefire goal for sure. Gomez, Joey playing like he got both middle fingers up to everyone who called him Ice Spice last year. He's like, yeah, middle finger to the world. He's doing his best to say, I don't hear you. Keep It Level gave him an 8.5 and at least a 9 for Dustin. Let's do this. I'm going to put him in as a top tier performance for right now, and we can bump him up to at least but top tier performances. Anyone that gets a top tier performance is a candidate for man of the match. We're only going to have 110 out there, even though there could be players that definitely had 10 style performances in your minds. But I'm going to leave that 10 for the man of the match, and I think that top tier performance for sure from Joey. I agree. How do we feel about our captain, the king of the defense? I believe the man who wears the crown for the defense, Virgil van Dijk. How you feel about Virgil? Top tier performance, above average, 8, 9. I thought Virgil had a good performance, man. I could see realism gives Virgil an 8. I think that aura is back for Virgil van Dijk. I really believe that aura is back for Virgil van Dijk. I like the fact that you don't think he was top tier, Nilante? Okay, I can understand. Is either above average or top or 9. Okay, I'll bump him down to at least above. I give him an 8 then. I'll give him an 8 because Nilante is saying he's at fault for the Isaac goal. Still hasn't had anyone. Still hasn't. What's that stat? That passed, like, no player has passed him. Going past him yet. But yeah. Virgil van Dijk is a 7 from Brian. Virgil van Dijk, her prince. Virgil van Dijk gets a 9 from Marion. What else are we saying here? Red for Life says, I'm going to get to Liverpool comment as well. Let me see. Red for Life is saying Virgil van Dijk, it was an 8. He was definitely speaking his mind last night. He was. There was that one part when I remember when him and Trent were back, and he kind of yelled at Trent, like, come on, like, let's, like, get your head in the game. That kind of shout to him. Respectful shout, for the same, not like, trying to make him belittle him or anything like that. But yeah, I appreciate that. Except when he messed up on the offside trap for the Isaac goal. Yeah, that's definitely true. I Love Liverpool says some people are knocking Virgil for playing Isaac on side, but he did his job. We don't play the trap anymore. We play cover. Wow, Dustin had him as a 10. That's cool. That's very cool. Because Dustin's very critical or constructively critical on players for sure. So you can't say that's him being overly gracious with his ratings. Keith Level says that Trent shot was ridiculous. Oh yeah. We'll get on Trent. I don't know. I agree. I don't know if he was for this performance. I don't know if Virgil was a 10, but what I was getting at is that with Virgil, I think that a lot of that aura that people mention, a lot of that take of he's lost a step and all those different I say pundit parentry and lazy narratives have kind of get pushed by the wayside nowadays, because I believe that aura is back. I believe that teams are avoiding his portion of the pitch. I think that when they are taking on him offensively, they are being put in their place. There's times when he's bullied players. That foul that was called on him I believe that you can call it a foul. He did bully him a little bit too much. Amaran is a little bit of a I'm not going to get there. I am not going to go there. Let Newcastle players get on Amaran. But yeah, he placed the ball in a position that allowed for Amaran to take a better angle towards the ball. But I don't think there's really much to say that Virgil doesn't command and represent nowadays with the rejuvenation of his game. I think he wears the crown once again. I'm willing to put him above 8 or above average with an 8. How are we feeling about Ibu? I thought Ibu did really well. I thought Ibu did really well with portions of his game that people, myself included, are asking for him to definitely step it up with. Portions of his games that I didn't necessarily think that he had complete command of, and that is with doing those progressive carries like a Matip, or even doing those diagonals like a Virgil. He's been doing that pretty well. His passing and his ability to carry the ball forward has been well appreciated. I think, at least by myself. I think I've really been high on the praise for that being a part of his game now. So with Virgil, let's put with Ibu, I would put Ibu next to him. Looks like everyone's giving basically 8s. I see 8s from Marion, 8 from Red for Life, 8 from Nilante, excuse me. An 8 from Dustin. I thought it was a solid performance. I Love Liverpool gave him a 9. Keep It Level gave Ibu a 7.5 to an 8. Solid performance. Okay. I think an 8 is a good way to go with that. Red Realism Jarrett gives Ibu a 7.5 only because at times he didn't know how to progress the ball quick enough. Okay. I like how he is. Dustin is saying, I like how he is committed to his matchup adventures. I agree too, and that's something. Note that you possibly might have heard this first here, but recognize that you're going to see a lot of that from Kwanzaa this year too. I think going forward, I think we've seen Kwanzaa show those progressive carries. We've seen Kwanzaa attempt diagonals. I think you're going to see. I think both from Kwanzaa and from matchup, or excuse me, from Kwanzaa and from Ibu, you're going to see this. Okay, what's this team need? Well, this team is obviously needing what matchup was providing, and they're going to do their best to give their adaptation of what that was. How do you guys feel about our vice captain, the Scouser in the team? One of the Scousers in the team, Trent Alexander-Arnold. How are you feeling about this young man? Great. So happy to call him a Red. So happy that he represents his city to the fullest. He is someone that you have to give props up to. All right, how are we feeling? I know we're not doing him an average. Are we doing an 8 or a 9? Wow, Trent gave him a 6. Okay, got done by Isaac too easily, and his passing was off. To be honest, okay. Brian's comments about Ibu. He says just needs to stay fit, and he's a top center half. His attacking play isn't that important to me. Okay, but how do we feel about Trent? That's not where he's going to be. I'm tired of holding on to the mouse. I'm tired of holding on to the mouse right now. Marion gives him an 8. Brian gives Trent a 7. Dustin gave him an 8. I love Liverpool gave him an 8. So far, the only outlier is a 6 by Realism Jared, and I don't think no one's going to give him a 9. I wouldn't give him a 9, even though if he had made that goal, if he had made that shot where he had no real. He should have never taken that shot. No person should have ever really thought taking that shot, except for someone like a Trent who has the confidence to even attempt that shot where he just sliced it and you saw that the ball just ping off the bar. That was an incredible shot. If that had gone in, that would have been goal of the year. That would have been goal of the year. That would have been that to me shows more skill than even a bicycle kick. But yeah. Let's see. 8s, a lot of 8s. Marion, I said, gave Trent an 8. Red for Life gave him an 8. Let's see. Keep It Levels gave him a 7.5. Nolante gave him a 7 or an 8. Let's see. I think we're going to have to give him an 8. I think we can leave it as an 8. Because he that shot was a pretty amazing shot. Some stats on Trent. Had a 0.31 expected goal. Had a 0.23 for expected assists, but had 4 interceptions, 1 tackle, was dribbled past 3 times, but had 93 touches. Was 41 out of 61, which wasn't exactly amazing when it comes to his pass accuracy. That ends up being like 67%. Had 2 key passes. Was only 2 for 13 for his crosses, but had 7 out of 18 for long balls. Was 5 out of 8. 5 out of 8 for ground duels. I get that he did get taken out by Isaac on that one play. But there was that one play. Did you guys remember that one play where he was on the left wing and he was like, and he did some work with like he did something reminiscent of what Diaz did on that left wing when he just like was like he faked one way and one another. Trent was working. He was working. That shot was missing. That shocking miss again. Wow. Yeah. All right, then let's go on to a player that I rate, a player I know a good number of you guys rated as well, a player that's finally getting his flowers on this team, a player that it's unfortunate that He's going to be going away on international duties and captaining his Japanese national team. But you love him, I love him. Our samurai, Wataru Endo. How you feel about Wataru? I think that Wataru, rightfully so, is just settling into the role that we need him to play. I've been making this point time and time again. We don't need. It's great if we can make a team of 11 world-class players, but I just think that that's not important. It's about finding players that fit the necessary roles for this player, for this team to really gel and make a difference. And I've always seen that in Endo. I've always rated it. I put that in the scouting reports that I sent to Kopish. I don't know, and Kopish, this is if you're watching this, I know sometimes they do. I'm not calling you out, but I'm saying, Cal, look in your DMs and find that scouting report that I sent you, man. You'll finally understand and recognize. I asked you to share it to Drift and share it with Matt, so you guys get a good understanding of what this player can bring to this team, which is like some real measured and consolidated efforts at that destroyer role that we have him in, and he does it. Whether it's with his linkage play, he's not someone that we're looking to do some incredible passes, but he has some good passes in that game too. Wataru has some really good long balls that he put out there. It's 3 out of 6 for his long balls. I thought that he did well. Was 63 out of 69, which is 91% for his passing. Had 83 touches. Had a shot. One was blocked, one was off target, but looks to contribute offensively, whether it's passing or even his occasional shots. Not scared to get involved on his ground duels. I thought he played well. What are you guys rating him? Dustin gave him a 9.5 to 10. Wow, that's high praise. Keep It Level gave him an 8. Nalante gave him 8.5. I Love Liverpool gave him a 7 or an 8. Realism Jared gave him 8.5. You like that? I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate Nalante. Nalante is my guy. I like Nalante. I appreciate it. Let's see. Endo. He says, Endo, I like him a lot, and he works hard. Pause. Marion gives him a 9. Brian gave him a 7. Okay. Why do you think, Brian? Why do you think he was average? I'm just asking. I'm not judging. I'm just asking for context. That's all. I'd love to hear your opinion, because I thought he had a good game. I thought he had a solid game. I think he, like Cedric says, I would have given him like an 8 point. I don't have half points, but I would have given him a solid 8. Warrior Endo, excuse me, 8.5. We will miss him. I thought, yes, Endo, calm, simple, very, very collected in his approach towards the game. I agree with that completely. But Brian, definitely bring me some context why you had him as just an average. Again, I'm not judging your critique or your rating. I'm just asking for context. He says, "Oh, sorry, it was a Brian. Oh, I got you. It was a Brian 7.5 average for him. I got you. Because I try to always make sure that I understand people's context. I understand people's what it is, so that you can separate agendas. I'm not saying Brian has an agenda at all. I say that so that you can understand what comments are agendas and what comments are just being critical or being constructive. And Brian is I got you. With being realistic, and Brian's always got a very even though his ratings aren't the way that is similar sometimes to other people's rating, he still brings context to why he's saying why he's rating that player the way he is. That's why I can appreciate his takes. But I'm going to put Wataru in above average. I think he had above average, certainly, performance in this game. Curtis Jones. What is it? Curtis Jones. I'm not going to sing the song. The Mr. Jones song. How we feel about Curtis Jones, people? The other Scouser in that team. How we feeling about Curtis Jones? It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, I'll get for all those that are watching this on their phone. If even though you say 10, that'll be obviously your rating. That'll be your vote for man of the match. Obviously, if you give a player a 10 during these ratings, but for you to be a candidate for man of the match, you got to have a top tier performance. Anyone that's in a 9 is a candidate for a man of the match. The ratings I have here are 9 is a top tier performance, 8 is above average, 7 is average, 6 is below average, and 1 to 5, what does it matter? It's just a failing grade for me. That's how I see it. You could be a 2, a 3, or 4. I don't care. It's still a fail. So, yeah. How do we feel about Curtis Jones, a player that I've definitely been high on. A player again that I've been called a top Red for supporting him and saying how I think Curtis Jones has the ability or just needs to find that step and realistically get in that groove that we've seen him play. I think a player that I've mentioned time and time again about how he's well acclimated himself into what we want, what Klopp wants out of that role, out of him as a player that now all of a sudden people are recognizing and saying what they're saying. Internet never lies, people. Internet never lies. So you can check my history on these players. But Curtis Jones, I thought had a phenomenal game. I thought he had a phenomenal game. I'd say Curtis Jones had a top tier performance, people. I get that Jones. I see the 8 from Ryan. I see the 8 from Marion. I see the 8.5 from Dustin. I saw Nolante with a 9. I saw I Love Liverpool gave him a 9. Realism. Oh, that's for Boz. I haven't gotten to Boz yet. I thought he's a certain candidate. I thought that when Curtis Jones was on the pitch, you saw the reason why he deserved to be on the pitch. I have a video, again, I spoke about a while back about how and why I think, because I've been asking people, who do you think is the most essential player on this team? I remember I asked Enz this question, Savage this question as well. I asked Quasi this question. I don't know if K-Mac was part of the panel at the time, but I think I've asked a lot of people about this question. And I was vocal about the fact that I think that Curtis Jones might be one of the most essential players on this team. I said one of the most essential players, certainly in our midfield. I think he's one of the most essential players in our midfield. And why I say that is because the same reasons why people were so high on Ginny. The same when Ronaldo was a part of our team and he was cooking and he was doing his thing and he was like so dialed in for the role that we needed him to play. Our team, our midfield worked. And Ginny got a lot of flowers because of that. I think Curtis offers the same, if not more than Ginny does for this club, considering that he's taken on a lot of what Ginny was asked to do, but at his youthful age and at his ability to have a possible higher talent level or talent ceiling to achieve to. I like what we're getting out of Curtis, and I'm hoping that Curtis continues to pursue this role for him, and I get it. I'm not saying that he is. If you look at the numbers, and this is something I brought up in the beginning, early in the year, there were a lot of people that were down on Curtis, and I brought up some statistics, or I brought up some graphs, because you know how I am about stats. Like I love my stats. I love numbers. And I remember I was showing you this. I showed this graph that showed Wijnaldum's numbers in his best year and Curtis's numbers in what was starting to become one of his more polished years, and the numbers were in Curtis's favor. They just were, and that's one of the reasons why I just like the fact that Curtis is taking on this role and is really looking to contribute and really be a player that we can rely on. He's that guy. Hey, kudos to him, man. Kudos to him. Brian says, the guy with 20 goal contributions is the most important player we have. Salah's elite, but it gets ignored because we're used to his ridiculous numbers. And I understand that take. I understand he is an essential player. I think of it as I'm referencing the midfield primarily. That's what I'm referencing. This is coming from someone that's high on Endo, someone that's big, obviously looking forward to Thiago's return, someone that, still has it. Doesn't call Bichetic Dre, because I haven't forgotten about him. Excuse me. I haven't forgotten about Bichetic, someone that I'm very, very high on seeing Bichetic's return at that 6. Someone that's been very high on Dom's performances. I know he's had a little bit of a dip in his ratings or dip in his output, but someone that really appreciated Dom's performances. But I think Curtis is an important cog, COG, in our offense and how the machine really works. But I get it. Jenny was a baller, but I think Curtis is at the moment. Curtis is balling too right now. He really is. Curtis is really balling. Let's go into Dom. How are you guys feeling about Dom? I got you, Realism. I got you. I put him in that 9 rating for he. I'm gonna star yours as being your vote for him being man of the match. I got some comments coming up. KGSJ7. Curtis was the most balanced in the midfield. Endo's been showing his worth. I told man he'd come good for us in due time. Preach, brother, preach. They don't hear us. They don't hear us sometimes. They don't want to see us, But for those of those that didn't, we're all going, come outside now. But again, I know I definitely rely heavily on stats, but I also rely on my eye test. I factor in eye test too. I factor in a lot of eye tests too. I factor in some because I think that moments. A game is full of moments, and what you do with those, and what you do with the opportunities to with those moments. And I believe that there are moments in this game where in various games where we've seen players really step up to the bar and provide. That's interesting too. And I'm glad a lot of people have taken on that. How do you guys feel about Boz? Let's see. For Boz, this is something I'm worried about too. Psychedelic Shaolin, big up, brother. He's saying with Dom's injury and end up leaving, who would be your midfield 3 versus Arsenal? That Dom hamstring injury is something that's a troubling thing for me, because I don't like it when players end up getting hamstrings. You don't want to see them recurring. Sometimes they can be, so it's about time, about properly allowing for it to heal, about properly being able to reinforce that hamstring. I hope that Dom can do it, because he's got an engine and a motor on him, and it's something that we utilize and definitely need. For Psychedelic Shaolin, he's seeing a midfield 3 of Curtis Jones, McAllister, and Gravenberch. I see that too. I think that's going to be the midfield. Most likely it will be the midfield for us going forward during this little segment that we're going to have of not being able to utilize Endo, not being able to utilize. You might even see an academy player here or there as well, especially on the bench. And it depends on whether Elliott gets a run at right wing or if Elliott's going to be utilized at right midfield for me, whether who we see in those roles. But all right, so we're going with, let's see, the ratings I saw. Dom got a 4 who gave him a 4? Dom got a 4 from Delante. I saw this earlier too. Who else got him a 4? Saw another 4 in there for him. I thought I saw a 4 in there for him. Let's see. Realism Jared gave him a 5.5. Dustin gave him an 8. Wow, Dustin gave Dom an 8. That's very interesting. A lot of people weren't very high on his performance. I thought he was making extra effort. He was putting in work with, and that's probably why he pulled the hammy. But he was putting in some extra effort in tracking back and not slacking on his defensive role. Marion gave Dom a 6.5. So I'm definitely going to give him a below average. Brian gave Dom a 7. I don't know if it was a fail for him. Yes, and I agree. Dom Nolante got it spot on for me. Dom in the second half was more like him for sure. Dom was, and again, I love Liverpool says Dom was hot and cold, so therefore average, which is like a 7. I'm gonna give him a 6, a little bit below average. Yeah, Cedric saw it like I saw it. He says defensively, defense 9 effort, and then for his I guess for his offense it was more like a 6. I think that's how I'm supposed to read that. Let's see. So I'll give him a, let's stick with a 6. Here comes the fun part. Let's see. Second half bit was what are you saying here? He says at 12. Second half bit was me responding to. Okay, my fault. Sorry about that. That was him talking about Salah. Okay. Yeah, because Dom ended up getting subbed out in the second. But yeah, I want to definitely. I love context again. I love context. So therefore, even if we got to talk it out, let's talk it out. That's the best way. The best way to understand each other is conversation and not shutting down immediately. You know. So let's see. And that's I agree with you. I love Liverpool. This is why I said you can't disrespect Dom's work off the ball. He was good. He was good at tracking. He was good at tracking back and doing his work off the ball. How are we feeling about Lucho? My Colombian brother, Lucho. I'll recognize him. I'll recognize Colombia, even though Chris is down on his Colombian brethren. I mean, his Colombian brethren. I am not down on Lucho. I think Lucho is a talent. I think he's a talent. I think he's a talent. Let's just leave it there. Because I don't want to. Because I know Brian is in the mix here. I don't want to get into a back and forth debate with Brian about Lucho. Big up to Brian. So for Lucho, and I'm interested to see Brian's rating for Lucho too. For Lucho, how are we feeling it? I thought it was one of his best. It was. The commentator said it best during, at least the commentator on our side of the pond said it best. It wasn't John Champion. It was the color commentator for our side. And he said, this is the Diaz we remember. And this game was vintage Diaz. I'm going to put this one up. Chris Angel needs to apologize to Lucho. Facts on facts. Oh, man. But, yeah, Diaz. Oh, how are we feeling about Diaz? I thought Diaz had a top-tier performance. Can't knock it. Okay, Brian. Brian gave him an 8. I got you, Brian. He says, Brian says 8 for Diaz, best game in a long time. So let's see that every week now, that energy that's been missing. Hey, I think I think he had a great game. I think there was one particular play where he was on the left hand side, obviously, and he had the Newcastle defender on him, and he shucked like he was going one way, and then just turned around and went right back, took the baseline and went straight for goal. I was like, that's the Lucho I know. Being able to utilize his pace, his dribbling ability, being able to see the field, take shots if they're there, being able to distribute if necessary. Well done, Diaz. Well done. A lot of nines in the chat for Diaz. I know Nolante already gave him a 9. Marion gave him a 9. Keep It Level gave him an 8. Okay, Diaz gave him an 8. I thought you gave him a 9. I thought you gave him a 9. My fault. Nolante gave Diaz an 8. Who else? KJ 7 gave 8.5. Cedric gave a 9 for him. I Love Liverpool gave him an 8. I don't think I agree. Well, you know my feelings on Lucho. I love Colombia, but I also love the gift that they've given us in Lucho. Big up to Lucho. So I'm giving him a 9. Let's move on to. Let's give how are we feeling about Nunez? How are we feeling about Nunez? This is going to be an interesting portion of the ratings. Just get it out there. Just get it off your chest. Let's just get it off your chest right now. How are you feeling about Nunez? Because I know there's going to be those that were warm, those that were cold for him. Excuse me. Those are warm, those that are cold for him. In this game, I thought I like the fact that, look, Nunez tries and does his best. He plays all out for this club. You know what? This is something. I put this in my notes because I broke down the game. I broke down every good part of it and everything else. If I went through all my notes, we'd be here all day with all the little nuances of the game. But there was a time when Nunez missed, or not missed. He got a ball. I think it was he got it saved. He got it saved on a goal attempt that probably should have been a goal or could have been a goal at least. To me, what was unique about it was this: he missed the opportunity. He missed the chance. Missed an absolute like one-on-one with the goalie. But if you listen to the tape, you will hear the crowd still chanting Nunez, Nunez, Nunez. I guess it's a crowd. I guess Anfield's just packed with a lot of top Reds. I guess, right? I'm not gonna let it go. I'm just not gonna let it go. But you heard it. I heard it. I heard when I'll save the other comment for the next participant in our starting lineup. But you heard it. You heard Nunez, Nunez, Nunez. You heard the crowd still chanting him on, still shouting out encouragement. This Anfield crowd was immensely amazing. I think ever since Klopp has called out the Anfield crowd, they have stepped up their level. Ever since Klopp has called them out, they have stepped up the level. And I commend them for what they're doing out there. Big up to Anfield, to the crowd. Those fortunate members of the Mighty Red Army out there that get to go to see our beloved Reds play at Anfield. Big up to those that do get that privilege and utilize, and not only sitting on their hands with that privilege, but actively participating in the element of what Anfield has to be and what Anfield needs to be if we're going to have it be a fortress and be what we need it, what is necessary for us to really do the work that we're expecting this year. So for Nunez, what are we rating him at? So I know we're going to have a lot of different ratings. So I Love Liverpool says he had him at an 8. Keep It Level had him at a 6. Dustin had him at a 9. Very interesting. KJ SJ7 had him at an 8. Let's see. Keep It Level says, even though he missed lots of chances, his energy, his pressing, and his pressing tracking back was excellent. I agree. He didn't get so, in his own head with the game where he tuned out and doesn't recognize, hey, if I'm not producing on the offensive end of it, at least let me work at producing on defensively. And he got an assist. That assist was that was probably the best, one of our best offensive exchanges in the game, was the assist that he was a part of. I thought that was whether the entire motion of play for that was incredible. I thought. Nalante gives Darwin a 6. Rilla and Jared says Nunez is a 6.5. Hasn't acclimated to the pressure of playing for Liverpool, hence affecting his composure in front of the goal. The crowd should always be backing our players, which they were. They really were, Willis and Jared. Something I appreciate. Cedric, I like it. Cedric says Nunez, an 8 for him. Let's see. Brian says that's what people on the internet only don't get. They talk about Nunez hate and a Nunez agenda, but go to the ground and ask the people who go every week. Nunez is loved by real fans. Hey, watch what you say, Brian. You might be called a top red by that comment. Not letting it go. Not letting it go. Let's see. Nalante is saying, as I said, expect at the start of the season, 15 Premier League goals for him. I know. I had him at 20 all comps. I went bold to say him getting 20 in the Premier League alone, but that's only because I maybe I allowed for the Jerry James when I was on the show being being called out for my support of Nunez. Maybe that was me, really being supportive of our number 9 and saying he's going to get 20 Premier League goals, but there's still an opportunity. There's still a chance. Man's got 8 goals, 8 assists in all comps. I think there's a chance. There's a chance he can step it up. There's going to be some games out there that he gets to. He'll get a hat trick here or there. We're going to see some goals come from Nunez. He's just got to keep shooting. Brian gave him an 8. Wow, that's high praise from Brian. Let's see, all the numbers that I saw some 8s. I saw a 9, but I saw some 8s. I saw some 6s. I'm going to have to put Nunez as a 7 then, because I'll put him in the middle. I'll split the baby and put him in the middle. Yeah, I agree with you. About Liverpool. Bro was constantly a problem and threat. Did produce an assist. Keep it a buck. Keep it a buck for sure. I feel you. Let's go on to our Egyptian king, Mohamed Salah. How are we feeling about Mohamed Salah? It's amazing because, again, I know of all the misses that Nunez had, there were people that were very, very, very critical of Mo once he missed that penalty. I thought it was a look, Dubravka was playing on his head, as in he was just having the game of yeah, I know. Oh, I get it. Trust me. I'm there with you. Been that term, top red. United fans invented it to cause a split in our fan base. I agree with you on that. It's stupid. It's really stupid. And when I hear, when I heard Savage use it against myself, when I heard Jerry James use it, it's disappointing. It's disappointing because those are people that I respect and appreciate, but they've got to recognize that statement is that kind of term is not a derogatory term. It's one of those things where it's like, it's stupid. It's just a stupid term. because nothing. I'm critical of this team when you need to be critical. I'm critical of the players, the club, the management, everything. I'm critical of our own fan base when it needs to be. Okay, so this is a stupid term, but it's all good. That's all good. Yeah. That's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. He did, Brian. But it's all good. It's all good because I don't that much. I know there's nothing wrong with supporting your club. There's nothing wrong with being proud of the accomplishments and the history and the culture that you are trying to pass on, not only to yourself but those that the young generation, and even reminding the older generations of the fact of it's just a privilege and an honor to have Reds, to have the camaraderie of the Reds that I do, and I appreciate that immensely. And if that's being what it is, then I'll accept it. I don't really care. I appreciate each and every one of you, and don't you ever forget that. I'll always walk with you. So I always do. No matter if your opinion is like mine or not like mine, I care less. More so, I just appreciate the fact that we support this club and that I can call you my Reds brethren. That's the most important thing to me. So big up to each and every one of you. But going back to this, Mo Salah, how are we rating him? Salah got a 9 from Nalante. Brian gave him a 9. Keep It Level gave him a 9. Realism Jared gave him a 7. And that's the thing. It's funny too because I thought he played really well. It always seems when Mo's going for a record or some type of record, whenever it seems like you're going for that kind of whenever he's going for a record, it seems to weigh heavy on his shoulders sometimes. Because I remember Klopp said something about how they had been waiting a little while to give him that jersey with the 200 on it, on the back of it or something like that, and how he was glad to finally be able to give it to him so that we can move on to the next record that he needs to break or whatever. It is sometimes, you could tell that it's weighing on his shoulders a little bit. But again, I thought Dubravka had an amazing game. Often when we get stopped, it's because of a goalkeeper just playing well over, the measure of his abilities. And not saying that Dubravka is a bad goalkeeper, not at all. I just think that he was playing on his head. He reminded me of the goalkeeper's performance in the Champions League against us when we were peppering, absolutely controlling the game against Real Madrid, but Real Madrid just utilized their chances, just had opportunities, and they made the most of them. So, but Dubravka was playing off the head. That goal was, it was a difficult save to make. One where he had to be fully stretched out and to make the save, and it was a good save. And even Courtois, yeah. And even when Philly Liverpool FC, big up Philly Liverpool FC. Philly Liverpool FC, DM me for sure because I was trying to make you a mod, but for some I don't think it was working. So make sure that you connect with me so I can make you a mod for the channel. I thought that Trent was going to get that volley. Even he knew that he just hit it wrong. But yeah. See what I mean? Yeah, Dustin. See what I mean? Yeah. Dustin says, yeah, the Madrid game crossed my mind too. Shout out to Darwin assisting Mo to start the scoring. But yeah, that's what okay, making sure. All right. He is a mod. All right, cool. It worked. That's what's up. Thank you guys. Thank you. Yeah, it was one of those things where it reminded me of that performance that he was just Courtois was playing incredible in that Champions League match. It wasn't necessarily that Madrid just brought the pain and just absolutely destroyed us in that matchup. It was more so I think that Courtois was making some incredible saves in that matchup. And Dubravka definitely he did the same in this too. He made a great save. Made a good. He didn't have to make a save against the follow up by Trent. Hear me out on this. Going forward, not going forward and said after Mo returns. Mo can have the penalty kick responsibility once he returns from AFCON. But during this segment where we don't have Mo as our penalty kick taker, I nominate, and please allow for me to just land my point before I get lambasted by my take. I believe that Nunez should be our penalty kick taker. I'm going to put top tier performance in here from Mo. Okay, and also I'm on StreamYard, by the way, guys. So that's why I don't see. I know that froze for a second. I'm on StreamYard, so I don't see the wrenches on here. That's why I don't. I'm hoping I went through. Brian helped me out by like instructing me how to make mods, and I made some mods, and I noticed it wasn't in the StreamYard thing, so I wasn't sure if it was if it worked or not. I wanted to make sure it did, but I'm looking. I want to nominate. Make sure it doesn't freeze on me. I want to nominate Darwin as being our spot kick taker. And why I want to nominate him being our spot kick taker is because I believe that if we were to give Darwin some quote unquote easier goals, it would take the pressure off him feeling like he has to support or has to, he's not getting the goals and lessening that burden. I also think it might be a boost to him in his confidence, in the sense of he has taken penalty kicks. He's the penalty kick taker for Uruguay. He's taken penalty kicks for us when during, I believe it was during Europa. It was during Europa or the Caribou Cup. But one of those two times he has been the first to grab the ball and look to be the penalty kick taker. I would like to see Darwin take that role of being the penalty kick taker. I think that he's got a shot on him. He's got a shot on him. I don't think we're going to see him miss many penalty kicks. I think he's got confidence, and I really think that would be. It was a Europa League. Thank you, KJ. I think that if he starts taking penalty kicks, it'll be a boost to his it should be a boost to his confidence. Something that we can start getting him goals. And it's the same way, like you feed the beast in essence. You're feeding the beast, and that's my take. Alrighty, so let's go into our subs. So our subs came in at the 64th minute. We only had two sub periods actually, and the first one was a triple. We had Ryan come in for Dom. We had Cody come in for Nunez. We had Diego come in for Lucho. I like the subs that we are able to make. I like the fact, and this is something I've been referencing, I like the fact that our depth provides us options and solutions to problems that we are facing on the pitch. If our first game plan, because I've heard a lot of people make the mention of we don't have a plan B, if our first game plan isn't working out, we have adequate and sufficient, and I say overly sufficient subs that can either change the narrative on the pitch, but can also create different attacking options or defensive options for us on the pitch. That's something that very few teams have the ability to do. You can give your best teams like Arsenal, you can give your mediocre teams like Chelsea, or you can give your in the mud teams like United. They have big name players. They might have big name acquisitions that are sitting on the bench. But a major difference, again, I said it earlier, you looked at Newcastle's bench and the sheer fact that they have freaking Karius on the bench shows the level of what they have to offer when it comes to depth, But let's get into this really quickly. And I'm going to put your comments into here too. And I feel you, Dustin. You know what's great about Dom is that he's obviously got a great record. He doesn't really shy away from where he's trying to put his penalty kicks. He goes the same side every time almost, but he hits it with such power and such finesse that there's very few, even if you guess early, there's very few keepers that can save the shots that he takes from penalty kick. I would like to see Dom get that opportunity. I think it would be good for him. But let's get into these to our subs. Ryan Gravenberch. How are we feeling about Gravenberch? I put Gravenberch last, but it doesn't matter. I thought Ryan played decent. I thought he played average. I think Ryan's going to come into form. There's a lot of what we see from Ryan that's going to really round into form once he starts to get not only his fitness, but he starts to get the concepts of what his teammates are looking to receive when it comes to distribution and what it takes to properly press within the system. You know, I thought I agree with what with I Love Liverpool. I thought he was a 7. Standard 6 coming from KJSJ 7. I would have said maybe he was like a borderline 7, maybe a 6 to 7. A lot of 6s. Okay, I'm a man of the people. So Marion had him at a 6. Dustin had a 6, maybe 7, or 6 to 7. KJSJ 7 had him at a standard of a 6. Delante had him at a 5. We'll keep him at a 6 because it looks like a lot of 6s. Even if he is better than what we're seeing. We'll see his best. We'll definitely see his best. Give it time. With all players, you got to give them time, especially when they're new players. I like to give them time. I'm not so quick to throw them out with throw them to the bin as a lot of some, or not a lot, but some people are. Cody, what do we feel about Cody Hackbo? How do we feel about his performance? Cody had a goal. A really well taken goal, by the way. Only got 10 touches. It's 4 out of 6 for his passing. So really wasn't exactly like the center of all when it comes to it. What? Oh wow, Brian, please, really? That's interesting. I'm gonna put Brian's comment on there because he's talking about how he just saw a certain channel posting about Jones going to Arsenal. That is clickbait and a half, for sure, Brian. That is clickbait and a half. But for Cody, I thought Cody was above average. Looking like we're getting 8s from Dustin. We're getting a 7 from I Love Liverpool. I would have given him an average, but I think that goal that he got, I mean, considering the amount of touches and opportunities that he had, and he made the most of the few opportunities that he did get, I would have given Cody an 8 for his performance. KSJS7 gave him a 8, brought some urgency to the game and got a good goal for goal for himself. Excuse me. Cody's got a 7 from I Love Liverpool. Delante got an 8, scruffy, but they all count. Yeah, they do. They all do. And that's why I said it was a good goal because I mean, like, hey, it's just all about making it count. Jones is not going anywhere for sure. I think Jones gets I think Cody is a solid 8. How are you feeling about Diego? Shot caller, the baller. How are we feeling about Diego? I think Diego, another testament of how Diego, about somehow, like, sometimes when you get with reactionary takes, you get these people that just say what they say, and it is what it is. But there's a lot of people now that are I'm sure are pretty appreciative of us having Diego on our team, still having Diego on our team. because there's some people out there that were pushing him out long past pushing, if not kicking him out the door. But Diego's my guy. Shot caller, Diego Shata. Hata the Shata. I'm gonna give Diego above average. Are we gonna say above average for Diego? Let me see the ratings for Diego. Diego got an 8 from my Liverpool. Diego got a 7 from Nolante. Got a 7, a solid 7, if not a 7.5. From Dustin. Marion gave him 8. Yeah, I think that we're gonna. I think it's an 8 is a solid rating for Diego. I think Diego should deserve an 8. Diego would. This is what Nolante says. Diego 8.5 would have been a 9, but the dive spoiled it. Isn't a dive? He did get hit. He did get touched, and I can understand that people might say, "Oh, well, he took another step." I'm not going to go as far as True Jordy saying he took 3 steps. No, he didn't take 3 steps. But, he took another step. When you're going at that pace and that speed, and sometimes just enough of a touch will knock you off your footing to where you kind of like, you kind of like misstep, or you kind of like, it brings you down. I don't think of it as a dive personally. And that's not me taking it from a biased position. I think it definitely was a foul. Does he need to go down? I can't. Only Diego can tell you the truth of whether if he necessarily needed to go down or not. But I can agree with he sold the dive. He sold the foul, not the dive. He sold the foul, by doing that, because if anything, if he makes an effort to stay on his feet, he's not getting that call. If he makes an effort to stay on his feet, he is not getting that call. It's a shame that we have to go to that level and extent to get calls on what was a foul, but that's just the truth. If he just makes the extra effort to stay on his feet, he's not getting that call. So he did what he did what pretty much everyone does, which is he went to ground. Considering Newcastle has Gordon on their team, who literally should be playing in Speedos with how much he dives, it is rich, to say the least, to hear some people say he's a diver. Rich. But yeah, Diego gets 8. And our last sub was Macca. I thought Macca had a good game, I thought. Despite not he didn't have that long to show improve. He came in at the 75th minute. I like the gear change that we're able to do with our 6s, and what we will be able to do even more so once we do get Thiago back, once we do get Bajcetic back. I like the gear shifts and options that we have at the 6, because McAllister provides just that. He is by no means the defensive stalwart or defensive ability or defensive player that Endo is, and what we've come to appreciate from Endo. But he's not a slouch when it comes to defense, and more so for Macca, he's a very talented offensive player. In that hybrid 6 role, I like what we're going to get and what we've been seeing as of late. I think the real turning game for him was that City matchup for Macca. And I like that we're finally seeing someone become more and more comfortable, not only with his teammates, but also with the role that he's being asked to play. Whether he's going to continue to play it all season, that's for Klopp to decide, obviously, and for us to hopefully appreciate whichever way he ends up playing out the season. But for now, I like what we're getting out of Macca. I don't know if it was 8 performance. It definitely was a 7, I think, an average performance out of him. He only got 25 touches. He was 23 out of 24 for his passing, 1 out of 2 for long balls. Lost the ball once, but was had 1 foul. 1 out of 3 for his ground duels. I'd say a 7 is cool. What are you guys rating Macca? Dustin has Macca at an 8. Okay. Yeah, I love Liverpool. Yeah, when we're referencing this, look, every person has said it's a penalty. Every person has said it's a foul. Whether he goes to ground or not, obviously that's debatable. Okay, but again, the reason why I say I don't have a problem with him going to ground the way he did, or the fact that he went to ground to, as people are saying it, sell the foul. It's what has to happen. That's sad, but that's the state of our game. If he attempts to stay on his feet, that's not getting called. It's just that's just facts. I think that could be facts. I think that could be factual in that it's my opinion. Not it doesn't have to be like facts, as in like your facts, my facts, whatever facts. Okay, before we get into that, but let's see. Standard 6 again for me or for him. KJ SJ7 says Macca was a 7 for Marion. Philly Liverpool FC has him at an 8. I don't think it's out of place to put him at a 7. To like split the baby. Again, I'm doing a lot of King Solomon in here. A lot of King Solomon. Yeah, I think of it. I think it was definitely a good performance, not amazing performance, but again, he only had came at the 75th minute. And the one thing I liked again about what we saw from his inclusion was the fact that he's a different take when it comes to the 6 role. He just is. He's not a destroyer. He's more of that hybrid 6 that I've been mentioning time and time again, that I've seen more content creators start to utilize in their own verbiage. He simply is doing a role where you can have an endo that's going to go out there, make hard fouls or take a yellow card when necessary, do the tactical fouls, do link up play with quick and easy and very distinct passing. He's going to shield the ball when he gets it to draw fouls. He's going to utilize his standard of covering and serving coverage for when Trent goes forward or when other players go forward. He'll be able to cover and provide defensive coverage for it. That's endo. But when it comes to Macca's able to not only link, but able to do those long balls, be able to do the crosses, be able to take those outside the box shots. I like what we're going to get out of Macca. I really do like what we're going to get out of Macca. All right, here's the fun part of the day. Now that we're had a lot of time, already past the 2-hour mark. What are we doing for man of the match? What are we doing? What are we doing for man of the match? Let's focus on man of the match, people. Let's not focus on agendas or any of that other stuff that we're debating or possibly getting into the weeds of between ourselves. Let's not even go there. Let's just talk about who was their man of the match. We have 4 candidates for man of the match. We have Joe Gomez. We have Curtis Jones. We have Mo Salah, and we have Luis Diaz. Out of those 4 players, who do we have man of the match? Who do we have as their man of the match? I have 1 vote from Dustin going to Mo. 1 vote for Curtis. Okay. Who are I love Liverpool, Nolante. Focus with me. Who do we have? Who are your man of the matches? Tell me who. No, Lante, tell me who's your man of the match. I love Liverpool. Tell me, please, man of the match. I know. Hopefully, I'm not freezing up, and hopefully, you're hearing what I got to say. I have. All right. So now it's 2 votes for Mo, 2 votes for Curtis. I have 3 votes for Mo. Cedric has voted for Mo. Philly Liverpool FC has voted for Mo. Marion has voted for Curtis. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. What are you guys? So that's 3 for 3 for Mo, 2 for Curtis. Wow. Who else are we seeing? I heard. I thought we had a shout for someone had a shout for Joe Gomez earlier. I think, right? Didn't someone have a shout for Joe Gomez? I think I marked it. Yeah, Realism Jared had a shout for Gomez or for Jones. Excuse me. So Curtis. Oh, for Jones. Or did I say Jones or Gomez? No, I just blanked on who I said. Oh, you said Jones. Okay. Let's see. Random match per match. Blah blah blah. All right. So it's 3-2. Is the king going to get it? Nolante, I love Liverpool. I need your votes. Who are you guys voting for? You guys are 2 important parts of the Mighty Red Army here. Who do you guys have as your man of the match? Oh, Nolante had Gomez. I knew someone had Gomez. My fault, Nolante. Yeah. Yeah. So Gomez was so I have 1 vote for. I like it. I like that. I want to see everyone get a vote. I mean, it forced them. Maybe I have to vote. Maybe I'll have to vote for Lucho just to make sure that Lucho gets a vote. At least gets 1 honorary note of being man of the match, because I thought Lucho had a great game. I don't know if he had necessarily man of the match game in the sense of overshining the other candidates, but he definitely had a really solid performance today. Or yesterday, I should say. I think we're going to have to give. Yeah, I think his Lucho should get some love for sure, but Gomez for Nolante. I got you. He's in. He's a candidate, Nolante. I got you down. The 4 candidates. In no particular order: Gomez, Mo, Curtis, and Lucho, for sure. Cedric has Diaz a special mention for sure, definitely. I like it. I like that people are at least giving Diaz some flowers, because I mean Diaz was, he might not have Diaz might not have scored, but he was putting in some work. He was showing as people put it, the Diaz of old, I guess, because a lot of people had said that Diaz was like a washed and done. Hopefully he'll have a run of performances much like today, or much like yesterday. Keep calling it today. Feels like today. Everything's just meshed in. My weekend was a long weekend for sure. So I think we're gonna have to go with Mo as being the winner. So I mean, I guess that's the number I had. That's the top votes that I had on here were for Mo. I thought Curtis has to be a strong shout for man of the match as well. Do you guys want to do maybe like a joint man of the match? Is that acceptable? Can we do a joint man of the match? Would that be acceptable? Give me a 1 for that's acceptable to do a joint man of the match. Give me a 2 in the chat if it's not acceptable. It needs to be outright either Mo or Curtis. Please tell me 1 if you believe that you're okay with doing a joint man of the match, or give me a 2 if you think it should be strictly one or the other. Marion gives it as a 1. Philly's giving a 1. Dustin gave it a 2. Cedric gave it a 1. 1 for I Love Liverpool. Yeah, man. It's difficult. Gomez is a Joe. I mean, I don't know if we want to give it to three players, but I would certainly say Jones has a strong shout to be equally man of the match for with alongside of Mo. I think that Gomez, and to me Gomez and Lucho are a strong shout for honorable mention for man of the match for sure. I think it's honorable mention. So I'm gonna I'll be I'll be scandalous, or call me if you want to call it that. And I'm gonna have to say, uh, I'm gonna have to say it's it's a joint. It's a joint man of the match for me when it comes to. I think Curtis is really reminding people there's another Scouser on this team. I know that that's a part of Trent's song, the Scouser and the team, but uh, I think Curtis is doing a great job of um, uh, I think he's doing a great job of I'm seeing a chat in the side view here, trying to keep my focus. I think he's doing a great job of doing what it is, and that is like representing his city, representing representing his club, his boyhood, favorite club, um, doing some real work, and big up to him, because it's an honor and a privilege to be able to do what he's getting the opportunity to do, but to shine and to do it for the city that you're born and raised and love. I got to say, yeah, um, appreciate it, appreciate the hard work and dedication. Appreciate the hard work and dedication. But let's all like take a breath here for a second. Focus on the fact that I think it's a pretty legit rating. You can see that we weren't really like overly biased. I take in all of your ratings and factor them into the final determination. I'm not someone that just factors it in because I think it's important. You're a big portion of the reason why this show is or ever will be a success, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So therefore, your vote should matter, which it obviously does. And yeah, man of the match, man of the match, Mo Salah, man of the match, Curtis Jones. Men of the match. Let's call it men of the match. Men of the match. We're gonna miss Mo, but I think it's gonna be an opportunity for a lot of players to step up. I hope that Dom recovers from what seems to be a hamstring injury. I hope that it gets to a place and point where I hope that gets to a place and point. Yeah, men of the match for sure. I hope that gets to a place and point where these opportunities are looked at as just that, opportunities. The same way Kwanzaa looked at the unfortunate opportunity of Matip going down with injury, and it providing some more playing time for him. Hey, make the most of it. Whether it means that the right wing position with obviously Salah is the guaranteed player when it comes to our right wing. He's going to be the right wing 10 out of 10 times almost. Okay, when it comes to the starting 11, but it gets to the part and point where yeah, let's just, again, to the chat, let's just move on. There's no point in fighting amongst ourselves. Let's, like, if anything, after being top of the league, we don't need to fight against each other. We don't need to go back and forth with calling each other names or whatever it is. Let's just enjoy it. We're at the top of the league. Agree to disagree, as Brian said. But what I was saying, right wing, I'm hoping that Elliott gets his opportunity to really make a case for the future. I hope that personally, I hope that Dom again gets I hope that Dom gets the opportunity to play right wing. I think Dom will be a good right wing for us, a right inside forward at least. I think he'll be a good right inside forward with the ability that he has in his defensive measures, the engine that he has on him, the ability to score. Obviously, he has got a rocket of a foot. I don't know. I don't think mods can block mods, right? They can't block mods. Mods can't block mods. Anyway, I hope not. I hope it's not. You guys mods should not be blocking mods. But let's see. Like yeah, I know. That's so true. Nobody but a few others like Philly, Liverpool FC, and myself had Liverpool at the top of the league at the beginning of the year, especially not at New Year. Yeah. No, Nelante's not blocked, is he? Come on. Nelante's not blocked. He should not be blocked. Let me make sure he's not blocked. Okay. I don't think he's blocked, right? What he can only block what he sees in the chat, not ban someone or block someone. All right, let's just get together. Let's just get together, right? Let's just get together. Just agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. That's all. If you guys want to block each other on each other's chat, fine. But let's just agree to disagree. Because I mean, realistically, it's like a mute button. Okay, if you guys want to mute each other, fine. If you don't want to get to talk to each other at the moment, cool. But all the same, I'm looking at Dom getting an opportunity at right wing. I'd like to see Elliott get an opportunity at right wing. Is there someone else that you guys feel should get an opportunity at right wing that I haven't mentioned? Now that Doak is out, now that Doak is out, I wonder what you guys I wonder what you guys think. Oh, Nolante, no question, brother. No question. No questions. Let's see. I don't know what that comment means before I put it, but yeah. Oh, okay. Dustin has Diego. Okay, I can see that. And again, Nolante, don't even sweat that. There's no knocking my favor with you. And again, I love Liverpool. Look, there's no knocking my favor with you. Like, as in, guys, just work it out. Just if you guys don't agree, then just don't agree. That's all. Just move on. That's how I see it. Let's just move on. But yeah, like what it is that I think I want to see Dom get an opportunity at right wing. Obviously, I think Elliott's going to be utilized at right wing. Do either of them bring the level of world class, the world class expectations that we have of Mo Salah? No, let's not get it twisted. Yes, I'm not expecting them to be on some world class levels or something, but I do expect them to contribute, and I do know that they can. And yeah, I think of like as I know, Nolante, I love Liverpool. Move on. Let's just push past it. Look, if there's anyone that's been called a top red, I just told you, Jerry James called me a top red earlier today. Savage, a friend of mine, called me a top red, on a stream I wasn't even a part of. Let's just move on. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's one of those things. Just let's just keep the conversation going. I every one of you I held high measure, high resolve for, right? High resolve for. I appreciate each and every one of you. So therefore, I enjoy it when you guys join the forums and the chats and contribute. Again, you don't have to have my opinion. You don't have to even share my opinion. You don't have to like the players I like or dislike the players I don't like. I don't even care about that part. Let's have a discussion and everything else. Let's bring context to what we have to say, and not we don't have to get to the part of we don't have to call each other names. But I would love to hear what you guys think. I think that it's going to be interesting. This with Endo, who a lot of people have now recognized. It's funny. A lot of people are now saying that we're going to miss Endo. Some people didn't even want to welcome Endo, much less say they're going to miss Endo. That's going to be funny. But yeah. Endo leaving is going to be it's certainly going to be a loss, but it's one of those things where here in America we say, was it I think it says whenever you lose someone, next man up, that next man up means hey, you know what, this player is down, or this player is are missing, or this player is not going to be there. Then it's just the next player in line, step up and measure up. And I think that our depth really signifies that we have the opportunity to do those, to have that level, not go down really, but not go down. If anything, sometimes maybe possibly even go up. But yeah, I'd like to hear what you guys think of. Real quick, who do you guys think is going to be our right wing? Who do you guys think during the? I would like to say during the AFCON break and during the Asian Cup break, who do you guys want to see be our right wing? Who do you guys expect to see? Or let's put want. Who do you guys want to see? Because I know some of us have different expectations. Who do you guys want to see play right wing for us in Mo Salah's absence? And who do you guys want to see us have as our DM? And you can include the players that are coming back. I get they're not with us currently, but they will eventually be back. And they'll probably be back during the January period that we're not going to have Watoru or have Watoru or have Mo. So that means you could say you'd want to see Bashetic there, or you'd want to see Thiago there if you want. You can go that far. But who do you want to see going for us in our starting 11 at right wing and at DM? And tell me who you want to see taking our penalties. Tell me who you guys want to see taking our penalties. Give me those three answers. Give me those three answers real quick, if you guys can. I just would like to just chop it up and hear what you guys got to say. I'm going to close this. Bring myself back into focus here. Who would you guys like to see? I don't know what that is. And again, I know, I like the fact that I made this reference a long time ago on Copish. I brought it up again on Beijing Reds TV. Big up to Beijing Reds TV too, by the way. Having a team, I guess your answer might be predicated on whether you want a team that other teams have to change for, or if you want a team that can change for its opposition. I think that's probably going to have some bearing on what you view or what you think of being that player, that who you have as that player, being the temporary replacement for our right wing and DM, and even for our penalty kicks. So let's see. And let's see. Lucky says, in Liverpool, you're either red or you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right. Everton fans, etc. I got you. All right, let me get to this. Because I don't want to get into the back and forth about that stuff. Nolante is saying this. He says, between Elliott and Diaz, that'll be a shout. That'll be interesting. That'll be a real interesting shout. I don't know. Let's see. We're at 2:35. I'm gonna make this. I'll continue on. I'll continue on with this stream until the 3 hour mark. So, pause a little bit. So let me close some of these windows down so make sure I don't get too many more things. Brian, Alante, whoever wants to jump in. Hey, if you guys jump in too, I'm gonna put in the chat. We're not going back and forth with any disparaging words against each other because I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to put the link to the chat. So because I would like to have, I wouldn't mind having a discussion here on that question right here. So Nalante, if you got time to hop on here, definitely I put the link in. Brian, if you're free, I don't know how many Guinnesses you had for New Year's if you're still recovering. Definitely you're more than welcome to hop on and have a little chat because I want to see real quick questions, a couple quick questions I wanted to chop up with, and I wanted to make sure that we have proper context behind it. So that's why I'm putting the link in the stream so that you guys can verbalize why you want to see what it is that you want to see for those players. And if you don't want to be a part of the online discussion in the sense of hopping on the stream, it's cool too. Tell me in the chat who you guys see or who you guys want to see. Marion has pens to Darwin, and the other question. Okay, so I'm gonna put the questions in here. Who do you have as temporary replacements at the right wing, DM, and PK taker? I'll post this. I got you. Cedric, appreciate you chiming in. I feel you. He says, I'm with you, 12. Nunez for pens. Thanks. Again, I'm out. Thank you for joining, Cedric. Cedric's a cool cat that he appreciates. It shows appreciation for, for the channel, but then again, the channel shows appreciation to you for that, for sure. That's my question. Who do you have as temporary replacements at the right wing and DM and at the penalty kick taker? Again, I put this, if you guys want to, Brian or Lante or whoever, Philly Liverpool FC, you guys want to log in and verbalize it, vocalize it, I should say. Cool. If you guys just want to verbalize in the chat, do that. You know how I am about sharing what you have to say. Even if it doesn't match what I have to say, I'm willing to put it up there so we can have a discussion. Dustin says, DM, Mac, I think Jones is covered. Pens, Dom. And if we play the same system, Dom for Salah. If not Dom, he's looking at Diego playing on the right wing. That's interesting. Let me see this. Let's see. Lucky has a take on or is offering his take. Oh, Nathan Blavo. Okay. Nathan, show me your camera actually. If you just off screen, I'm not gonna you don't have to necessarily show your camera. So yeah. I didn't mean to put your government name out there if I did. All right, let me hear you, bro. I didn't mean to do that. That's like, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, big up 12, man. Big yourself up. How you doing, man?
Big up. You know how it is. Sometimes we had
double check,
Manchester United
check,
guy just throwing all the burner accounts in there. So you never know.
No, 100%, man. I know, because usually it comes up as the Atlanta, but I don't know why it came up as my other name, but it doesn't really matter as long as you know who I am.
Yeah, for sure.
Not some Man U or Man C alias coming into the chat. So yeah.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
Exactly.
Well, how you? One, Happy New Year, by the way. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Likewise, man. Man.
How do you feel about this question? What's your take on it? Who do you have as being? Who do you want to see? Not necessarily who you expect to see Klopp put in that role. Who would you want to see? I want to focus on that first. I wanted to really focus in on that.
Yeah, no problem, top man. And first of all, I know, we're just just trying to just bin it, but yeah, I do apologize for that back and forth with the other guy. Like I said, I mean, yeah, like I said, me and you've gone through differences of opinions, and I've gone with others, and that's
Absolutely.
fine, no problem. But again, I react to people get a bit disrespectful. I thought Jota dived, and that's just my opinion in it. But
Mhm.
and I understand people don't. That's fine. Like you don't think he did, which is fair enough, fine.
No,
But
no, I just want I just want us to be all kumbaya, you know, like
yeah,
I just want us to be like, look, we're top of the league, you know, we don't need to
yeah.
fight at all at the moment. We should all be like, you know, got a little hop in our step, you know. That's how I see it.
No, that's true, Tove. But unfortunately, in every fan base, there's always going to be some you don't get
Yeah,
on with, and
yeah,
they're
we
just a
all
bit
understand.
extra. But
Yeah,
yeah,
agree
no,
to disagree. That's how I see
yeah,
it. Like, you know,
yeah, no,
for instance, I invited Brian on. Brian and I have had like differences in opinions, yet you know,
of course,
I still view Brian as a good friend and obviously a Red. But I mean, like,
of
despite the fact
course.
that our opinions don't match, I'm not going to say Brian's a bad person or Brian's this or Brian's that.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
100%.
go. I'm not gonna go as far as say he's a bottom red.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Not at
No, you
all.
and
Not
Brian.
at all.
No,
Brian
no, that's
is
fine. You and Brian, we've had our conversations. That's fine. Brian's a sound guy as well. You know, he's a good guy. But yeah, no, just that other guy, he was just getting a bit outright and stuff like that. And I was asking him
good.
simple
All good.
questions.
It's beyond us.
But
It's
anyway,
past.
sorry.
Water
Anyway, we
under the bridge.
digress. You're
Water under
right.
the
You're right.
bridge.
You're right. He's gone and playing La La Land or whatever he wants to do and moan to his girlfriend or whatever. Who cares? Anyway,
Water under the
back to your
bridge. That's
question.
how I'm saying it. Water under the bridge. I want to know who's your right wing and who's your DM and who's your PK taker.
Right. Well, for the right wing, as I said in the chat, 12, I think between Elliot and Diaz. I mean, me personally, on Monday, Elliot was unlucky to start, if I'm honest. I think he's done enough.
Ooh,
Even the Burnley game, the game
wow.
before,
It's
yeah,
because of his
yeah,
play, you're saying it? That's the reason why you're saying it? And because of the
yeah, because
Mo's been getting goals and assists, but he hasn't been like stellar play. That what you're saying?
no, yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean Elliot in terms of starting in the team. So whether it's on the right or in midfield, just in the 11,
Oh
I
wow.
just think he's been
That's high
yeah. But
praise.
to be honest, I think he's been playing well. The Burnley game, he played well. He was
Mhm.
unlucky to come off, and I think it's his time to shine. I mean, but on the right wing, I think it'll be between him and Diaz. Um, if I'm honest, I think Klopp will more pump for Diaz. I think he did the Diaz Nunes Gakpo thing and alternate or rotate. And obviously Jota's there, so I think Elliot won't get this chance. But I personally would try Elliot or Diaz on the right, in my opinion, for that side.
Interesting. And he has played Diaz on the right once. I've seen him play him once, yeah.
Yeah, I think Diaz can do that. He can switch. Also, in terms of the DM, well, it's kind of a difficult one now, isn't it? Because Endo's away. Obviously, we still have no idea with Thiago and Stefan Bajicic. So it'll just have to be McAllister. It just really has to be.
So yeah, that means also if we're looking at it that way, are you comfortable with Maka starting? I mean, for the most part, he was starting our starting DM for the most part.
Yeah.
Towards the majority of the year. But
yeah,
are you comfortable with him being that, you know, obviously almost like sharpied in DM?
Not 100%, no, because he's still, again, he was quality when he came on, let's be real, and he's building back his fitness, and he can do a decent job, but at certain points, so good teams, they'll pass him by, and that's the problem with Mac. And that's not his fault, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's like I mean, him playing as a DM, he's like in the role, not in terms of he's good as him, but he's like a Alonso in that type of player in terms of the role. So certain tackles or last ditch tackles like an Endo, he's not going to be able to do. So I'm a little bit worried about that. But again, that puts more onus on the team to defend as a whole, as a unit, so they can protect Mac. And another one, I mean, again, to the bare bones, let's just say Thiago Bajicic still injured, Endo obviously his way. If we had to go desperate measures, oh God, I'll go Gravenberch as a DM.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought I was alone in saying that, to be honest.
No, 12. No. When we bought him, he can, I mean, not 100%, he can do the job and he's got the physicality to do it. It just, again, he needs to be coached into, again, Genie.
Yeah. Yep.
Dutch philosophy, and he's a smart boy. He just once
Smart.
he
Yeah.
understands the
That's
game,
all
and then
football. Yeah.
he can play it as an emergency. I think he'd be good. Not that, but just as a backup.
Yeah. I'm not saying starter. I'm not
No,
saying
no, no.
he should start at
Oh
our
no.
six. I
Oh,
would like to see him get some time and again, it's because I like his ability to dribble with the. He's an athletic person. You can see he's a very
exactly.
physical specimen, but he's got speed. He's got physicality. He's able to obviously dribble, and he's able to progress the ball from point A to point B very quickly. Cool. I'm cool with that. That means that you can get it from point A to point B by dribbling instead of a pass. I'm cool with that as long as it gets to point B. And I think that would be it'd be nice to be able to have him as a distribution outlet for Alisson, for like the other players in defense to be able to like be able to give him a quick pass and know that he can take it from one box to the other box very quickly. That's how I look at it. And I think as long as he concentrates a little bit more on his defense, we could see a real player at that DM. Another option for at least that.
No, 100% agreed.
Yeah.
12 fancy. Great minds think alike.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying great minds think alike there.
Yeah, exactly. Great minds definitely think alike. Yeah. It's funny because yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think. Drifty said something yesterday that it was like finally hearing. It's good to hear people say. It's good to hear the takes that I had early in the year that are like all of a sudden people are kind of making their own. You know what I mean? That's always that dopamine in your mind pops off when you hear those kinds of things, and you're like, where did I hear that for? Where did I hear that before? But yeah. So you have Elliott and you have who else did you have at the right wing, real quick?
Diaz.
Elliott and Diaz, and then you have Maka at the DM, and you have the PK and who do you have your penalty kick taker? Because I have a take from Lucky that's interesting. I want to include and see what you felt too. But who do you have? Did you? I don't know if you heard my take on why I'm saying Nunez, but I'm saying Nunez because not for the entire run. I'm not saying he replaces Salah and going forward, and there will be no other penalty kick. I'm talking about obviously Salah's not going to be here, so there has to be someone else that's going to be the designated penalty kick taker. I would like to nominate Nunez as that penalty kick taker because I think it'll provide him with confidence. It'll provide him with it'll alleviate the burden of that goal of getting goals. Since everyone measures you so much by how many goals and assists that you have, it'll be an easier way for him to kind of like get that burden on him. It's kind of like the same way. I don't know if you play basketball, but it's kind of like the same way in basketball. It's always like you make a shot first, make a shot, and all the other shots become that much easier, And despite the fact you might have missed 10 shots before that, the first shot you make is usually the first shot that and that's the beginning of you kind of like getting it. You know what I mean? That's why, like normally in basketball, people take free throws in the beginning of they warm up by taking free throws, or something like that. Or you go to that shot. That penalty kick shot is just that for me. It would be like a warm up shot in the sense of something to like boost your confidence, make you feel like you're contributing to the game, and especially since you're the striker, contributing what we're asking for, which is goals. So that's the reason why I have that take. You might have another person. Who do you think of as being our designated penalty kicker?
Oh, I've got 3, but I'll just slow my option to 2 because I'm sure someone, Brian, whoever comes into the chat, they'll mention them. I've got McAllister and I've got Trent.
Ooh, Mac is a good shout.
Yeah,
Mac is a really good shout.
Yeah,
because he's had that. He was Brighton's penalty kicker.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's why I got you.
Yeah,
and
big
Trent's
game.
An interesting shout. Is it because Trent's the vice captain, or
no? I think because I've heard from people that around Liverpool in the training guide and his penalties in our double season, he's good at taking penalties.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah,
and he's a dead ball specialist, so that's something he'll do in his sleep, I reckon. So yeah, no problem with him taking it.
That's interesting. Not saying that I don't have trust or believe that Trent can take penalties. That's just I've not I like I liked I will say this. I like that he did what I want, like what you want to see from a true leader, which I've seen from Virgil. I've even seen Cody do it too. But like he grabbed when the penalty was supposed to be taken, he grabbed the ball, stood at the penalty at the spot kick, to make sure that no one's over there, like, dirtying it up, or like, like trying to make it really like a untenable place to take a shot from. And it's funny too, because for instance, Manchester United had that. I think it was in the Champions League game. They ended up doing that against I guess one of the teams that they're playing. And I remember mentioning how like Manchester United just they're just so dark arts nowadays. They're such about the dark arts.
Yeah,
it's so crazily done. But I liked how he took a responsible like leadership role in like grabbing the ball, standing on the spot kick, making sure no one messes with the spot kick. When it wasn't like he was trying to grab it and say, "Oh, I'm the person that's going to take this kick." More so, he's just allowing for no one to get into the mind of Mo, no one to like get into trying to make the playing ground that much more difficult to play on. I don't know if you saw that or not, but he did it twice too.
no, I did. Yeah. I saw that. It was very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. So that's cool. So I'd be interested to see Trent take it. And the Macca though, you just like enlightened me on a good one. That's a real good shout. It's a real good shout. I wasn't even thinking about Mac. I know he did it for Brighton. I know he's good at it. I know he's got a good history of taking penalty kicks too. But yeah, I'm always thinking you gotta feed you gotta feed the players that goals are important to. Like I don't think goals are important to Macca. You know what I mean? But goals are important to Salah. That's why giving him the penalty kicks is probably appropriate. That's how you feel what I'm saying, or the angle I'm taking.
No, 100% told, man. Yeah, it's just his thing. But I think all of us, in the chat, they could disagree. I think it's about time he should be taken off penalties, man, because he's missed quite a few. And fair enough, he dealt with the second one. He dispatched it because we know he's a confident player. But yeah, I think just give it to someone else, to be fair.
Yeah, here's another person. See, there's another person that takes your shot. Lucky's saying I would prefer Dominic or Mac on the pens, but Klopp isn't removing Salah off the pens unless it's when he's at AFCON. I don't think I think that statement's on point. I think he's and the question is got to have the reference of just AFCON / Asia Cup. That's the only time that we're talking about not seeing Salah as the penalty kicker.
Yeah.
Big up. Oh, nice.
Big up.
Give us a little shout out to introduction into the house. I appreciate it.
Indeed, yeah. Don't worry, man. A couple pictures up there.
Yeah.
My man and the kids. So yeah, there you go, mate.
Sure.
There you go, mate.
Families certainly.
Indeed.
And then he says, Lucky also says he would have Gakpo. Okay. Cody Gakpo. And he says, and Lucho play right wing. I can see the Lucho. Would you be cool with okay. Would you be cool with Cody playing right wing?
Turn it down. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, Tom.
Take your time. Realistic, it's going to be Trent. Oh, you think so? Dustin thinks it realistically it's going to be Trent. That's really, really interesting.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, I mean Gakpo. Yeah, I think he's a good shout. To be fair,
Cody has the right wing. I mean, we know that these Dutch players can play any position on the pitch. That is understandable. Yeah, that is understandable. But I mean, like, we haven't necessarily seen. I think we've seen him maybe once play right wing. I don't know if we've seen him play. I know they're interchangeable. We'll see him on the pitch. We might see him right wing, left wing, center. That part I understand. That's just the way that our formation works. That's the way that the Klopp fluidity, of his system works. But I think it'd be interesting to see, right? Who would then be your front three then? Who's your front three?
Well,
If you're gonna play Lucho on the right wing, then or you play Cody at a different spot, then and please tell me what's your front three. Please tell me what your front three is too.
Diaz,
For the AFCON for the month of January. That's the only month I'm talking about. Not going all the way. Not talking about like the ride out the year. I'm just talking about for AFCON.
You know what? Gakpo, Jota, Diaz.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. That's no Nunez. No Nunez at all.
No,
even on the
no,
left
for
wing,
me.
Even starting on the left, because we've seen him have some production on the left wing.
That's true. I'll give it to Gakpo at the moment because he's more of a left winger, more than Nunez. I don't know Nunez can do it, but I'll give it to Gakpo for now, and then we can take it. And then who knows? Nunez can always get himself into the team, just like at the start of the season, he was more on the bench. So, but that'll be my front three, if I'm honest. I mean, you got the pace, you got the drive of Gakpo, you got the skill and technique and the dribbling ability of Diaz, and you got Jota, the shutter, straight down the middle, one time, bang, goal. And that's what we're about. If we want to win this title, obviously, I know everyone says about Nunez, and yeah, I would do appreciate him, but we've got a big chance, 12. That's the thing. I mean, at the start of the season, I'm sure with you, I was thinking, oh, it's going to be top four because you finished outside the top four last season. And that would have been a boring season for me. But, I had to understand it because of the changes in midfield and defense. We don't know what was getting, but we have a chance.
Yeah.
And I personally believe City were going to win it. I'm not sure if you told, but I want to be proved wrong because I think we're used to too many heartbreaks at the end. So that's the problem. And oh my God, honestly, mate, I've never been so angry and fuming in my life. Honestly,
Yes.
When that day, all of us Reds can agree, wherever you are in the world, those 90 minutes or half an hour, you're thinking of who was it, Hendo lifting that Premier League title, only to be sucker punched twice. Oh God, honestly.
Hey,
What
can I say?
You know what?
It's different math. It's different math for teams that don't cheat.
Exactly. well, you know that, but we know Sheikh money,
Exactly.
12, oh, let me just go in my pocket. Oh, look, I got some money from the Sheikhs. Yeah.
Yes.
This 12, these man, oh my God, they've got the FA under wraps. So fortunately, we're always doing things the hard way. We have to, innit?
Yeah. It's nothing
unusual.
You know what though? For any Liverpool fan out there that's new or just learning like what it is to be a Red, let me just say this. Heartbreak, okay, is something you best get used to because it makes your heart stronger. It makes your heart stronger. How about that?
Yeah.
It makes your heart stronger. That's how I say it.
Exactly, and I don't want anyone to have a double heartbreak in the actual relationship with your female and then Liverpool as well. Then yeah, don't worry, man.
No,
don't worry, man.
I mean, like, look at it this way: tell me, even though we won a double, I still hear people speak about the quad as if it's a heartbreak, and I get it because we end up the way we lost, by a goal in the Champions League final, or way we lost, the way that if only Villa could have finished their dinner.
God.
And just rode that game out, we would have ended up being, top of the league.
I know, honestly, 20 minutes away. Yeah, that was a work at the time. I was thinking, oh my God, and then heartbreak, and then at the end of it, I'm sure you're thinking, all right, I'm vexed, but we're gonna win the Champions League. We Real Madrid won, and look what happened there, and we just, oh God,
it's heartbreak hotel, but all the same, you know what?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll still vacation there. I don't care. I'll still vacation. It's part of the ride. It's part of being a Red. It's part of it makes you strong. Whatever. How do you say? Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So
stronger. Yeah. Literally.
Hey, man, I just push it along like Tribe Called Quest.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, Q-tip, yeah. Oh God, here we go. Yeah. Can you kick it? Yes, you can. Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's not go with the choose, man. That will be all night.
Oh yeah, Dustin's saying he wants Diego, Cody, and Nunez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a good shout. It's definitely a good shout. I could see. I like the versatility of our front line. I like the fact that we have so many interchangeable players. I know I know a lot of times people want players that are just, oh, I want just that guy that's just a 9, or I want just that guy that's just a left winger, or I want him we need someone that's just a DM or just a right back. And I mean, if you look at our team, the number of players that have so many versatile, spots on the pitch that they can play is benefiting us, I think. I know some people I know sometimes people say that they'd rather have a specialist. Are you under that pretense? Are you under or that mindset? You rather have someone that's just an outright right wing, for say, as opposed to someone that can play right wing and left wing, or someone that can play like we're just talking about Dom, for instance. Dom can play right mid, obviously, but he's played right wing as well. He can most likely play right winger as well. Having that versatility makes it where, yeah, we're not going to have Mo. We can utilize him possibly as being a right winger. But if he was just a right midfielder, he would be someone playing out of place at right wing. He'd be someone playing out of place and having those learning experiences and all that. So that's why I'm wondering if, do you atone with someone that needs to be just a right wing and that's it? I'm just using right wing as an example, but just as whatever position they are, or do you like it that we have these total football style players on our team?
No, for me, versatility is key. So I am not really bothered about they have to be an out and out right wing, as long as they can do the job. That's all that means. And for example, my guy that gets slated on all channels, Mr. Joey G Man Gomez,
Yep.
Joey G as a kid, quality,
Yeah.
left back, right back, centre back, and Dom can do the thing. Jota can play all across the front line. So this is all key, Elliot as well, he can play in the 3, he can play, obviously he's a 10, but he can do the right sided. So yeah, man, I'm not really bothered about all that 12. As long as we've got the flexibility and our players have got the intelligence, which they have, to do the job, then that's all that matters, man. And we get the 3 points, then happy days for all of us,
That's certainly true. That is certainly true, man. That is certainly true. Oh man. So what's your outlooks then? How do you see us? Do you see us faring well? How do you real quick question. How do you see us faring against this FA Cup or this FA Cup match? And do you think that we get through January with flying colors, or do you think we're going to struggle?
Oh, it's January. It's a bit of a tricky month, isn't it? Because after Arsenal, we got Bournemouth away. I don't know. Remind me the
I'm going to remind you of the matches that we got coming up. Pull them up here. So we have. Oh wait, let me make sure I get this one. So we have. Obviously, we have Arsenal in the FA Cup coming. That's our next match on the 7th. But we have Fulham in the Caribou. And then we have, because it's weird, you know what? We don't have a Premier League game until the 24th.
Yeah, the man in it, and that's the Bournemouth game.
The 21st, excuse me, the 21st, yes.
The Bournemouth game, okay.
The 24th is our Caribou Cup game.
All right, okay.
But the 21st is our first, as in that's 3 weeks before our next Premier League game.
Yeah.
It's a very long time. And we have, and in those games in that span, we have Arsenal for the FA Cup. We have Fulham for the Caribou Cup. Yeah. And then the 21st, we have Bournemouth. Then the 24th, we have Fulham. And then on the 31st, we have Chelsea at home. And then on the 4th of February, I know that's not January, but all the same,
Arsenal.
We have Arsenal.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Well, at the end of January, start of February, we're going to see are we going to the end for the title again, or is it going to be limping to a comfortable third top 4 place? That's just the bottom line. That's what we're going to see. And without Mo, I'm not. You know what? It's kind of weird because even though Mo's gone and Mo is Mo, I'm not really too worried about him going.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about Mo going. I don't know. I've just got a feeling we can do the job. It's just about performances. So, Chris, funny enough, the Arsenal game is kind of weird because it's Arsenal, but I mean, someone might have to shoot me down for saying this, but if we get knocked out by them, if we play like Keller and Quans and stuff like that, I'm not too fussed. And I know I do apologize. So you guys want to shoot me down, shoot me down. But it's just the fact that we've got the Carabao Cup, which I'm not, I rather the FA Cup, but we're in the semi-final. That's the trophy we're close to. We've got that Bournemouth, Chelsea, and Arsenal. So if you told me now we're going to lose the Arsenal game, but we'll go to the Carabao Cup final, we'll beat Bournemouth, Chelsea, and Arsenal, I'll take that.
Mm. Mm.
I would. I really would take that.
You're not alone. I know there are other fans that.
Yeah.
There are other fans and other takes I've heard that have that as being something like as in they're, and it's interesting because I know I don't live in the UK, but I know I've been definitely educated to understand that the FA Cup is very important.
It's the national treasure.
Right. And it's very even more important than the League Cup. Right.
It is, yes, it's higher ranked, right. 100%.
So when when it comes to importance, I know that since the FA Cup is important, that's why I'm like a little bit more invested in seeing us perform well in it than I am the League Cup, But being that we are already in the semifinal, basically get to the semifinal, which we should be able to do. I'll knock on wood just in case, but to get to the semifinal, with flying colors, we should be able to. Then we'll be in the final. That's the trophy, and I'm for all the Infinity Stones, man.
Hey, listen, man, we're gonna go Avengers, yeah.
I want all the Infinity Stones.
So you want fire, all them, we want it all. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true, man.
Yeah. So when it comes to that, that's why I'm like saying, like, FA Cup means something. I think right now, this next game they're going to be up for this next game. It's going to be interesting to see who it's going to be interesting to see who Arsenal. I think they're going to come out with their first team. To be honest with you, I think they'll come out with their first team, despite them being home, despite it being just like you said, them having the same aspirations, for Silverware as well. Obviously not in the League Cup, but but same aspirations and winning Champions League. They have aspirations of winning that. They still, despite their hiccups, they're still looking at trying to contend for the title this year. Yeah. And they don't have. I don't think they have the depth that we have, to be honest with you. I still think that I think Arteta's going to recognize that he has to. This is going to be an important matchup, and them losing to us at the Emirates, despite it being the FA Cup and not being a Premier League, I get the game as well. But despite them, if we do come in with a makeshift squad, or if we do come in with a little bit of like a little bit less intense in the sense of starting 11, for them to lose that's going to be massive.
Boy,
massive.
Yeah,
that's a massive blow. There's going to be a lot of people calling for Arteta to be out.
Oh no, 12. You've got his name wrong. It's not Arteta. It's Cone Man. That's what he is. Pep's, remember, he's picking up Pep's cones, and then he thought he could try these
cones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I call him Cone Man. That's the nickname in my trap. Oh, Cone Man against Klopp. Yeah, Cone Man. Yeah. He can't be the original, innit? He's the copycat, older Mr. Cone Man. Yeah,
he's not even a B-Tech version of Pep. Come on,
exactly. I know exactly. Yeah. No, he tried all these fancy things. It's funny. I laugh at him, 12. I laugh at him. I think he's overrated as a manager, if I'm honest, man. Honestly,
I think so too. I think that he's been fortunate to be a part of the league in a time when he's been fortunate to be in a time in the league that City obviously were pressed to say, oh, okay, let's just start to play towards the end of the year, and they made the difference up between who I thought, Arsenal, who should have had the league in. They should have had the league in the pocket already. They should have had it in their pocket already. It's in the bag already for them. But they don't have that. They don't have what it takes. They don't have those players that understand what it takes to get it over the line. You know what I mean? So So I'm with Dustin. I'm in war mode. I'm in absolute war mode. This is definitely endo game. We have endo game settings for this for sure. But yeah. But all right. So I said I would go 3 hours. I want a little bit over 3 hours here. Try to give the people what they want and what they need, and that is some true like rah for our team being top of the league. Hey, what can I say?
That's it.
You want to give a shout out or something? You want to say anything before we let this go?
Not much, Tov, man. Just shout out to yourself as always, bringing the content. Shout out to Mr. Columbio, Mr. Engel, hiding somewhere in the part of the States. We need to get him on, and
I know.
I think me and you, Tov, we can make our connection.
Yeah, usually he tunes in, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, obviously he's spoken that Lucho pack after his dusty performance yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. You get the opportunity if you're on Beijing Reds TV or whatever. Give a shout out to Chris Angel. Be sure Beijing Angel as he goes on there as, and be sure because the Beijing Angel was Beijing Angel was a weatherman yesterday. He kept talking about how it's raining and how it's making this and making that have a difference. He was a weatherman yesterday. That weather was brutal. It looked brutal.
Yeah,
it makes you think twice about wanting to live on the island of England with that kind of weather, man. That's tough.
Yeah, we get it most times. Does trust me. Like I said, I'd rather be in the States for you guys. You get better weather than us, honestly. Yeah, over here, the people who are from you can chat. They can tell you. No comment anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, I'm looking at 70 degrees out right now.
Oh, man.
Hey, I'm about to get the rest of my afternoon on. You know what I mean? Go crack open a Carlsberg, maybe. And just hey, take in the fact top of the league means something to me. And I know it means something to all of you too. So that's what's up.
Indeed.
All right, so our next game is on the 7th. So that's like a little bit of a ways to get some. It's been weird because football was coming fast and furious during December. It was like every 3 days practically. But yeah, it looks like our next game is on the 7th. So I'll get a couple of shows in between. Hopefully Nalante can join me. Brian. I love Liverpool. Everyone, let's just all get along and just be cool and talk up our Reds, talk down the Reds. I don't care. Let's just talk about Reds, period. How about that? As long as they're talking about you, that means you're doing something right. That's how I see it, right? As long as they're talking about you. So big up to everyone in the chat. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Nalante, for showing love and hopping on. I guess we'll see you all on the flip. Take care, everyone. Take care.